Jase,
Yes, sir.
what's going on, brother?
What's going on, man?
Come on, man. How you doing?
Appreciate you having me,
Come
man.
on, man. You know it, bro. We overdue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what it is, man. Let's talk to him, man. You living or you surviving?
Hey, man, so since I'm a fan of the show, I had to cheat a little bit.
Come on now.
So I looked up the definition of surviving, and it's kind of carrying on and moving forward while intact.
Wow.
So in my perspective, I feel like surviving is a part of living.
Wow.
We gotta survive to live the way we want to live.
Wow.
And I know I can't provide the life I want for my son if I'm not out here surviving and doing what we got to do, man.
Respect.
So feel like it's both.
Respect,
Yes, sir.
bro. Welcome to the Integrity Response with your brother, CEO Khacki. Every individual sitting across from me doesn't believe in being typical, ordinary, or familiar. They're elite, meaning society's norms don't sit well with them. They believe in raising the bar for themselves, family, and for those they may never meet. From those in humble beginnings to those in the midst of greatness and legends who've paved the way. With a comedic edge, I will ask the questions that hold value, and I believe we'll gain insight to the real them. It's the Integrity Response. Before entrepreneurship, before management, before everything you got going on in this today, at age 9, what did you want to be?
Man, it's so crazy. So, big sports fan. Watching ESPN as a kid, and I just saw his daughters did a kind of a tribute to him the other day, Stuart Scott.
Right.
At ESPN,
That's
man,
right.
and being young and being in the sports, and the ESPN was just coming up, and to see somebody that looked like me
Real.
on TV
That's right.
and doing something, I wanted to be a sportscaster.
Come
You know,
on,
I
man,
wanted
that's
to.
real.
That's what I
real.
wanted to do, man, and it brought tears to my eyes seeing it, because you don't understand the impact something like that
That's right, bro.
has of you, man, and he was using our slang and
That's
talking how we talk.
Absolutely.
And at that age, that's all sports was our life.
Real.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because Stephen A. Smith, he pays so much homage to Stewart, to Stewart as well, bro.
Yes.
Like just on his journey as well, everything he meant to him in the culture, relaying that same, inner city.
Yes.
Talking everything the same way, man. That's real. That's
And it really brought us in. And I don't know if these corporations know the NBA, NFL, but he brought y'all a lot of fans.
Go ahead,
by
bro.
bringing them. Like there's
Go
a
ahead.
difference why it's a reason why the MLB don't involve us like the other sports does. And I think Stewart was a real steward to kind of bringing in that era of hip hop culture into mainstream sports.
Real. That's real, bro. Let's take them back, man. Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I do. One older sister, one older brother.
Gotcha. So you the baby, man.
Yeah, I'm the baby
All right,
of the bunch.
That's what's up.
We all are dad, only child. So
Gotcha.
all of our moms said, after dealing with my dad, I'm done.
That's real for sure.
Yes, sir.
And you grew up. Where did you grow up?
Grew up in Philadelphia. Well,
on now.
so my childhood was different. Born in Philadelphia. My mom moved to Maryland when I was 1.
Gotcha.
So we lived in like the real rural country part of Maryland.
Gotcha.
And so my early childhood, I'm back and forth to Philly.
Right.
Like I'm 3, 4, well, probably 4 or 5 years old, riding a train, catching a train by myself.
Gotcha.
Up to Philly to spend, because my dad was one of them dads. No matter what he was going through financially, like he was going to see me.
Respect.
The time that he had
Respect.
allotted to see me.
That's real.
And so at age 8, my mom moved back to Philly. She didn't have any family in Philly,
Gotcha.
but she just wanted to be closer to my dad.
Respect.
And I'll always forever be in debt to her for
Real,
that,
bro.
because I don't know the person I would be if it wasn't for his presence and his
Come
guidance
on,
in my
man.
life.
I respect that. Respect that. That takes a lot of sacrifice to
Yes,
even do that.
yes,
To say, no,
sacrifice
it's
is
bigger
the
than
word.
me. It's for my son.
Yes.
Respect.
Yes, and I needed it. And like my dad was growing up in Philly, my dad was the only dad on the block. None of my other homies had dads. My
Wow.
dad was everybody's dad.
Take us through there, man. Growing up in Philly, just the culture that it brought. What type of kid were you? What's some things you went through?
We was running around, playing tag, playing football. Like I already was kind of ingrained in football. Like I said, growing up in Maryland in the country, that's all me and my cousins did every day. We played football. Like,
Real.
We playing tackle out in the grass.
Come on now.
We
That's
was
real.
getting it in.
That's real.
So coming to Philly full time, it was kind of like going to school at this point now, since
Right.
I'm in 3rd grade.
Right.
Going to school now, it was a little culture shock, because in Maryland, like I was one of a handful of black kids
it was diverse.
in the school.
Right, that's right, for sure.
Coming to Philly, it's all black kids.
Black.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of difference, but I feel like in retrospect, just that introduction in my life, like being friends with white people at an early age and all of that, later on in life didn't give me a fear of talking to them, really carrying myself a certain way and being assertive.
That's right.
In front of them. But growing up in Philly, it was good, man. I grew up in a neighborhood right outside of North Philly called Logan.
Gotcha.
Logan Valley, where the rapper Sandman from. I was in the Re-Up Gang with Pusha T and all of them. We right next to Erie Ave, where Gilly and them from.
Wow.
And Major Figures, and that was a pivotal point in me growing up when Major Figures first came out.
That's right.
That was a hell of an era, and they really got us. I'll just speak for me and my friends. They got us involved in music.
Come on, real.
And I'm at that point, so I'm 15, 16, full studio. In my room, and back then the studio, it ain't a computer that these kids got now. I'm 2 turntables, mixer,
the setup,
set it
real
up,
setup.
trying like stuff connected all over the place. And eventually moved on, got a CD burner and a tape deck and a 4-track recorder and everything. So we was really into it for 3-4 years. A friend of mine, kind of fast forward into high school. We started making like DJ Clue style tapes.
Gotcha.
Selling them in our high school.
Gotcha.
And I was more the engineer. I kind of took the engineer role, and I was rapping too. At the time, because I had the whole studio. So I was having the studio. I mean, other than just rapping, it evolved me from a sound perspective. Because I can stay up all till 3-4 in the morning just practicing and trying stuff. And so I was recording people in the neighborhood for the mixtape that we were selling, and we had rap beefs going on and all of that. One of my partners, he was in Freeway group Ice City.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so after Freeway got his deal, he had started a group. Shout out to Face Money. And we was doing our thing. We didn't know what we was doing, but we was doing something.
Gotcha.
And overall, growing up in Philly, man, I seen it all.
Real.
I mean, seeing people stabbed, shot, everything. And I know, like, growing up in that environment, I seen both sides. Like, my dad got hurt he got hurt at his job early on in my life.
Okay.
So I was 3-4 years old, and he went from having a really good job to being on welfare, having workers' comp. Gotcha. And so I go over to my dad's house. That's where my studio and everything was, and water might be on, electric might be on, the food situation was up and down.
Gotcha.
But I knew I needed his guidance. It was just his energy.
That's right.
And all my friends would live there. So
was he in the hip hop too? Was he in the music?
So my dad was big in the blues.
Gotcha.
So story I always tell, when I get close to people about like what you said, like with the sacrifice my mom made. My dad made a similar sacrifice. So he sees I'm getting more involved in the music. Can't really do a lot for me financially.
Gotcha.
But my birthday's coming up, but I'm not thinking about it. So it's like January, my birthday in April. He like, Jase, got some stuff going on with the house. Don't come over here for a couple months. I'm like, damn, Dad,
Gotcha.
What's up? So like my mom really worked hard, had a second job, put herself through school, had us living in a decent area.
Sure.
So he told me just stay over there for a couple months. So I did what he asked, but I came back a little early, and water was off and everything. So
Gotcha.
He wasn't there when I came, so I came, grabbed some stuff I needed, left. He finally called me up at my mom's house, like, you can come back over, everything good. I come back, I got 2 6-foot-tall Technique speakers now in my studio. But my dad went with the water off for 4 months to pay for them speakers. That sacrifice.
Integrity.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does that do for, and this is hindsight. What does that do for a young man knowing like my dad invested in me? And he sees my vision.
Yes. And it's one reason why, like going on in life, when I got 18, 19, you start chasing girls around, you kind of lose focus what you're doing.
Absolutely.
That's kind of when I left music alone. But it kind of always burnt in my heart to get back to it because of that.
That's right. Wow.
Because I never that thought and what he put himself through never kind of left my spirit and my soul.
Wow.
And I knew it was something I had to pursue because Like you said, he invested into it, and he's seen the vision without me even speaking it to him.
Wow.
He just knew this is what my son is doing, and so I'm gonna contribute any way I can.
Wow. All right, this the next DJ Clue. This is who.
Yeah.
He
didn't know what we was doing. He didn't know we was selling tapes. He didn't know what.
Wow.
But he just knew the speakers I had was trash.
Gotcha.
And I'm gonna upgrade them with the top of the line. Techniques was the speaker.
Bro, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and like the 3 foot tall ones would have been good, but he got me 2 of the big twin Techniques.
Big boys.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. So they could hit me down the block.
Real. Bro, that's real.
Yeah.
So out of that, let's go back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So in high school,
yes,
this is when you're taking on a DJ. Of course, like everything, engineering, DJing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You started rapping too.
Yeah,
just
so
like everybody.
We started rapping when Major Figures hit. When that first mixtape came out, and the mixtape of it, the cover of the mixtape was the Philadelphia subway system. Like
Gotcha.
it's a big. Everybody in Philly know the picture of the Philadelphia subway system.
Gotcha.
It started at Fern Rock. It go to Alney, then it's Logan, Wyoming, Erie. It go all the way down North Philly.
Gotcha.
So seeing that cover, hearing these dudes killing it, and seeing my neighborhood, Logan,
yeah,
up there, like it empowered we could do this. And I'm gonna speak to Gil one day about this shit. And I'll say this on film. Like, Gil is one of the realest niggas that walk the earth. This dude was always in my neighborhood.
Wow.
Like at the park at Bears, always playing ball. Like what everybody sees on the internet now is what we seen growing up. It's nothing different. It's nothing like he'd be out there, chains on, jewelry out there playing ball with the kids. Like he always been himself and his persona. And so hearing them, it made us all with that.
Real.
Like that's probably the reason we went and started getting everything. We want to do this.
Wow.
And so it started like me and shout out to my homie Maul. He was rapping, then my homie Don, Ty, Mel. We all started rapping. Then there's a couple other groups in our neighborhood that was rapping. Shout out to True Lies and another dude named Chinko the Great. Out of Philly. He was in that DVD era, heavy, rapping for Logan.
For sure. Yeah. Take your fans back, take your supporters back. Fill in the blank. In high school, I was known as a kid that
I was quiet. Really? I was the chill kid in high school because all my friends was in Logan, and my mom wanted me to go to a good school, so she bust me out the neighborhood.
Gotcha.
And so my attitude in high school was like, I just need to come here and do my work. I don't really need to be friends with y'all.
I got you.
Like my homies, but it's back on the block. But it's a good lesson. What was a good experience for me.
Right.
Shout out to my homie DJ Maul J. So he was the DJ of the mixtape that we was doing.
Okay, gotcha.
So I had the studio and was recording everything, but he was the guy that once we get off school, we taking 2 buses and a train downtown to Sounds of Market to go through the new records.
Gotcha.
Because back then, I'm sure they still do it now, the 12 inches came out before the single even hit. So that's how the DJs had the songs and was playing in the club even before the songs came out. The white labels was out.
Gotcha.
And so we be down there, the youngest dudes in the store going through everything. They thinking we trying to steal records, which we stole some. And so we going through the crates, and so you get the white label with the single, the edit, and the instrumental.
Right.
And so once we started getting them with the instrumental, I'm like, oh, that's how they getting the beats. So that's how we started rapping. I'm like, all right, this is how we get the beats.
Gotcha.
And we just rap over other people's beats.
Real.
Yeah.
All right, so this transition. So how was that? Were y'all, hitting the scene? Were y'all doing open mics?
It was more of a neighborhood thing. Gotcha. And so we had tapes that we would pass on along through each other. One of my homies, shout out to Tommy, he was like trying to like push us and everything, but we really wasn't taking it serious. It was more of a thing just for us.
Real.
It like as a rapper back then, you really didn't know how to get outlets. Like the whole open mic thing, like that really, and this is in the transition in my head, like when I look back at it historically, like prior to the Figures coming out, rap was an elite thing.
Go ahead, bro.
It wasn't like everybody didn't rap.
It's not. Go ahead.
Like
bro.
You had to be like a certain guy. It was in Philly. It was like I said. It was like it was a couple groups in my neighborhood, but it was like Ram Squad. Shout out to Tommy Hilfiger. then Major Figures in them. There was a couple other groups, Philly's Most Wanted and everything y'all know about now, but like they really wasn't heavily known like before that era started.
Gotcha.
They had a little fan base probably in their neighborhood, kind of doing it just like we was doing it,
right,
but started to branch out a little bit more. They was a bit older than us. They were
gotcha,
like 2-3 years older than
gotcha,
us. And so we was making tapes, going through it. Then we had like our little solo projects.
Okay.
And then I think we did one kind of as a full group. But by that time, I'm like, shit, all of this equipment start costing money. Right. I need to figure out how to make a dollar off of this.
Of it. Right, that's real.
And so we started selling the mixtapes.
Gotcha.
And so like, I remember my mom had promised me, I was doing decent in school.
Right.
She's like, all right, I'm gonna take you to Disney one of these years. We did like a whole family trip, my family from Maryland, everything.
Gotcha.
I'm like, Mom, I appreciate you, but I don't want that trip. Like, I need a CD burner.
Wow.
And so the CD burner was like $800 at Circuit City. It was like $800 at Circuit City. And she thought about it for a while. And she like, yeah, your flight and everything, it'd be probably like $1,200. So let's go to the store and buy it.
So you knew early on you wanted to invest in your career yourself.
I like fuck all this other stuff. Like this is what I want to do. This is what I need.
Wow.
So we went and brought that CD burner and it was on. It was on. He was like one of the first dudes in the city. And I just put this on my story not too long ago. And once again, shout out to my homie DJ Maul J. He got me my first check in music. It was these dudes. Well, one of the dudes I went to high school with. Back then his name was Tank Nitty. And he was already signed.
Gotcha.
Like he was signed to high school.
Oh wow.
And it was him and a couple other dudes in my high school that was rapping. But he was part of this group. I forget the name of the group. But they came to me once they knew I had the CD burner. Right. They're like, hey, can you start dubbing copies for us? Right. Yeah. And so we was distributing back then. I make like 40 copies of the CD, give it to him. I think I forgot. I was making like $120 or something like that. Yeah, but as a 17-year-old, 16, 17-year-old, I'm like, yeah, let's bring this. Yeah, like, that's real. Like, we moving weight.
Right, it's real, bro. It's real.
And so it was every day we get off school, go to Circuit City, buy like the little plastic pack. The
spin wheel.
That was like copping a key. We can go back and break this down.
That's real, bro. That's real.
Yes,
so from there, from high school, what was that transition? Did you go off to college?
So Maul J was a couple years older than me.
Okay.
He was the real, and I talked about this in other interviews. He was the salesman of it.
Gotcha.
Like he was the type of like hustling nigga. Like if you just walking down the street, he don't even gotta know you, but he gonna put a CD in your face. Wow. Like, yo, you buy the CD, $10. And I was more selling them like through people I knew, stuff like that, people I knew in school. And I really didn't even put it out there that like it was being recorded at my thing because I didn't just want a bunch of niggas coming through.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And so toward my so I was a sophomore when he graduated and went to the Army.
Gotcha.
And so my 11th and 12th grade year, I transitioned from doing this, recording everything for the mixtapes to recording more artists.
Gotcha.
So that's when I was I tell everybody I was a producer for a day and a half.
Real.
And so I had enough money from selling the CDs. I went and brought an MPC.
Gotcha.
And that shit like advanced calculus to me at that point. Like trying to do the sample. And
absolutely,
now mind you, I still got the turntables.
You got
and I got the mixer and everything. Right. But trying to get them samples to line up and man, and I was used to being like in my studio 3-4 in the morning and figuring shit out and like getting the levels and the sound and everything I want and like going through the trials and tribulations to get that to do that.
Right.
And so I did the same thing with this. I probably didn't sleep that whole night. I was up to like 8, 9 the next morning. I was like, I can't do this shit. I can't do this. This shit going back.
I was just about to say, did you have somebody try to come? But no, you took it back.
Nah, I took it back. Because we didn't have them outlet. It wasn't nobody that I could reach out to. Like at that, like I said, at that point, rap was still like so rare in the city.
Did y'all take, cause Philly, did y'all ever take trips down to the boroughs, New York,
it was like later on my homie Maul J did when he came back from the Army.
Gotcha.
But like this is like before like the Reed Dollar and Meek Mill era and all them when they was taking them trips. Like this probably 4 or 5 years before that.
Gotcha.
And so it really wasn't a thing. We had nobody that I knew that was producing or DJing or anything. Like we was just learning all of this on our own.
Gotcha.
And so took that MPC back. Had like $600 of store credit or whatever it was. And like, all right, give me that 4-track.
Gotcha. So you was real.
Yeah, so I took the 4-track, and then that's when I really started recording a lot of different artists.
Gotcha.
And around this time, I was heavy kind of on like the internet-based rap. So this is when like mp3.com had like a lot of amateur producers making their little like producer tapes, and you could buy their tapes.
Gotcha.
And so now we ain't have to rap off, or people that was coming to record.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they ain't have to rap off other people's beats. They could get original beats.
Real.
Yeah. And so that changed a lot. And I had some dudes in Maryland. I was from Baltimore that I was working with a lot.
Gotcha.
And this was the transition. So I'm 17, 18 now. My dad dies when I'm 19.
Okay.
That changed everything.
How did that,
And so like at this point, I'm recording, I'm rapping, then it's, at this point it's get money time now. Like you 17, you 18, there's other niggas you see shining, and this other shit is like music just kind of became secondary because like you still feel like you got a rep, you got a reputation that you gotta uphold, you got a look that you want to have. Like like you learn. I feel like everybody, you learn other areas of your city chasing chicks. Like so I ain't go to West Philly until I met a chick that was from West Philly. So I'm going down by myself on the L and getting pressed by niggas when you get off because they ain't never seen you. They know you from around there. Yeah, that 52nd Street shit is real. Like the niggas be out there selling colognes and turtles and shit, but they rob the shit out you in a second. And so like you understand how to carry yourself, and you like, all right, this bus shit ain't it. This train shit ain't it. I need to get my ass a car. So it was get money time at that point. So the dudes I was working with and recording with in Baltimore, they was on some other stuff.
Gotcha.
And when my dad died, I was at I guess the best way to put it, like a vulnerable moment.
Real.
As like other influences that wouldn't have influenced me before because I had his guidance.
Absolutely.
Kind of crept in like, all right, maybe this might make sense. Just after that, but luckily I had a real good support system around me. My brother, who's probably 20 years older than me, we never had a real close relationship prior to that. Like because my brother was really one of the things I always say this that was big for me in life, and why I never follow any of them other influences other than my dad being there. My brother had everything them other niggas had in the neighborhood, but my brother had a 9-to-5. And so like from my point of reference, it wasn't, I didn't have to do what them other niggas did to get that. My brother had the new Lex. And my brother lived the way I wanted to live. My brother was fly, and so I didn't. When other niggas came to me with shit, and I never really got too deep into anything because I'm like, shit, like
I could do it the right way.
I got another route. Yeah. Facts,
real, bro.
Facts. And so, even though we ain't talk a lot, me and my brother, of course he came around every now and then, but my brother made sure like it was food in the house for me when I was there, and he made sure like the utilities was on just because knowing I was there. And my brother was working hard since he was since '89, since he graduated high school. Real. So that was a real big influence for me.
Real.
Like him being around, and he talked to me every time he see me just for a little bit. But after my dad passed, he kind of became like my second dad.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is he still in Philly?
Yeah, he's still in Philly. Gotcha. Like he one of them guys. Like I talk shit to him all the time. Like. He just so Philly, like he just ingrained in Philly. Like he don't get on airplanes and none of that shit. He probably been on the flight twice. Gotcha. Like Jay, man, you fucking rich. Get the fuck out of the city, bro. Like, yeah, and
that's real.
And like all my cousins was fly. They all worked, and so like I had a really good, like I said, support system, and some of my dad's friends that I call uncles.
Gotcha.
That was just really my dad's friends. They wasn't really related to me. Like they kind of took me under their wing.
For sure.
And one of my uncles. Rest in peace, Henry Clack. He was an entrepreneur. He owned a car detail shop.
Gotcha.
And some other businesses. Gotcha. And he's the one that sparked the entrepreneurial spirit in me.
Go ahead.
From a young age. So he gave me a summer job working with him, detailing cars and washing cars and everything. And he never let me too far out of his reach. Like I would work for him for like a spring or something when it got busy for him, and then I kind of go off and he hit me up.
That's right.
And he was calling me to come and make some money, but he wanted to keep me close to him.
You know, it's more than that.
Yes,
it's real.
He wanted to keep me kind of close to him, just talk to me, keep me under his wing. And looking back at it, it was I couldn't have repaid him enough for that, because it was always when I needed it. I don't know if he knew it, but he always was bringing me closer when I needed it, and just the little jewels he gave me. I remember him having a detail shop, the car detail shop. I'm like, Uncle Clack, why you don't have a sign posted up with your prices on it? Like, cause everybody always ride by like, hey, how much y'all charge for a car wash and everything. He like, I want to build a relationship. If I just had a sign up there, they'll never come and talk to me. And I know I can sell them on the experience and everything that they'll get if they just come and talk to me.
Wow.
And that's how he built a lifelong clientele. Like, shout out to Alvin Williams, NBA player, used to play for the Raptors. He from Philly.
Gotcha.
He used to come by, Kobe Pop. It's a whole sports style stuff in Philly too. That my dad was a great football player, but a lot of guys from the Sixers, Aaron McKee and all, they all came by my uncle's shop.
Wow.
And just a lot of people in the area, my uncle was a big fixture because he built those relationships.
Real.
And so I just understood at an early age in business, relationships is everything.
Bro,
relationships is everything.
That's real.
Yeah.
That was big. I like that. Like that was everybody took a gym from that.
Yeah, I mean, because
bro, that's major.
That's 50, 60 people a day that he would talk to that never would talk to him if he just had the sign out there. So just eliminating something that simple that most people, they too lazy. They just want everybody to see it. But now he like, oh, the car wash $20. Now, if they just see the sign at the car wash $25, oh no, that's too expensive. But now if you ask me, and I'm like, the car wash $25, but it'll come with this, that.
Gotcha.
If you need anything else, we'll take care of it. Oh, they're like, oh shoot, that's a discount. This is cheap.
Wow.
And it taught me a lot. That's why you'll never see me put anything out with a price on it.
Wow. Brand.
Yes, it's branded. It's branding. It's relationship. It's experience.
That's right.
It's customer service. It's not just you're not just getting a product. You're getting an experience, and that's why getting into this and everything in music, I've been able to maintain a lot of long-term clientele. Understanding that.
Real.
Yes.
If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self some advice, what would you tell him?
Stay on course. Stick with it. Of course, you know, your brain, your mind, everything goes 100 different ways. I think I did the right things. And I mean, I've had businesses since I was 21, just on my own. But I jumped around a lot, like trying different things instead of this is the path.
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna stick with this.
Real.
Yeah.
We were just at a conference, Dame Dash conference.
Yes.
And they were speaking about the different cups. Like pick a cup,
yes,
let that fill up, and then let the overflow go into the.
There you go.
That's real,
there you
bro.
Go.
That's real.
And also, I would tell myself to see the long game. So at that point, my only reference of a business, as far as me making money, is a hustle. And so I was treating everything like a hustle.
Gotcha.
Instead of thinking long term as a business. So fast forward a little bit, I'm 21. I bought my first house. I bought my first house when I was 21.
Wow.
I turned 21 in April. Bought my first house that June.
Wow.
And so going back to my brother owned 3 or 4 rental properties.
Gotcha.
And so my uncle used to kick it to me like, your brother owned 4 rental properties. You need to own 8 when you get his age. And like he always kept that pressure on me. Like he talked that shit to me.
Wow.
And just like, and you kind of right. I don't want to hear this shit, but you right. You right. Yeah. Right. Because I'm seeing the game early. Like other people don't understand, don't really get this information or aren't exposed to it.
Came from a cloth.
And so that
Your cloth,
and so
bro.
coming from it, and I remember when I first went to so like I said, my mom lives in a decent area. We were in far northeast. We couldn't afford that, but we was like middle northeast.
Gotcha.
Like far northeast is really nice.
Okay.
We was like in the middle northeast, and even that transition. We moved into, we were one of the first black families that we might have been 5, 6 other black families in that neighborhood.
Wow.
And I went through everything. That's the first time I was ever called a nigga. being in that neighborhood, it was a dude it's a lot of people that can attest to this. Is a dude at the end of my street. I had to walk past him depending on which bus I was catching. And this motherfucker would growl at you. He growled at all the black kids.
Wow.
He would sit out there on the corner with like a sailor hat or like a Nazi hat and a Bible and growl at all the black kids that walk by. It's crazy. And
what does that do to a child?
At first, we don't even know what racism is. We never seen it. Like I live in black areas my whole life.
Just an angry old man.
Yeah, so I'm like, what the fuck is this motherfucker on? But like some of my older friends, they're like, no, we're gonna fuck him. We're gonna fuck him up. Right. I'm like, dude, probably in his 60s.
Gotcha.
And like he ain't like we would walk past him at first we would walk on the other side of the street.
Gotcha.
And then like when we going to school, then after a while you're like, fuck this, I'm gonna walk right past him.
Now you're like, okay.
And he ain't doing shit.
Exactly.
He just
gonna come out the porch. Right.
Yeah, wow. He just sat there growling. And like, all right, fuck him. And but I remember during that 4-month period that my dad like don't come over. So I'm like, fuck, I can't see my homies, whatever.
Right.
So I'm just walking around my neighborhood at that point. It was called LC Longcrest, and making friends with some of the white kids and shit, busting their ass in basketball. Right. Like, I feel like I was Michael Jordan playing against them. And so, but one of their older brothers, he ride by, go back to Africa, nigga.
Wow.
And I'm like, it shocks you at first, like damn, like, and they like, oh, don't worry about him. I'm like, the fuck you mean, like it's shocking. And I remember telling my homies, they came up there, and that was one of the worst things that ever happened when my homies from Logan came up there. That niggas started a crime spree.
Wow.
Niggas was stealing white kids' bikes, riding them back to the hood.
Stop.
Like,
how far is this about?
This is
he said ride them.
Bro, it was crazy. Shout out Ty, shout out Turk. So it's probably like an hour walk on the street.
Gotcha. So it's a 15-minute bike ride.
So if we took the train tracks, it's probably like a 20-25 minute walk.
Gotcha.
But
okay.
That's taking the train tracks, and then it's other niggas that be on the train track. Like it might be a little issues getting back home, or like on the train tracks. But like niggas that you don't walk the train tracks by yourself.
Wow.
So but yeah, like it was. They came up, and so once it's like if you get put onto a new trap, like it ain't nobody trapping out there,
right?
And so they went back, and niggas like, oh, where you get that fucking what's the mongoose with the
with the pigs on it?
Up Jase way, he up there. Then they bring other niggas. Bro, shit, that one summer was wild, bro.
They got the bikes up here.
Yeah, they had took these one little white kid's bike. They fathers jumped in a pickup truck and everything chasing them.
Right.
Yeah, it was wild.
Wow.
But niggas hit that area like a hurricane that summer, bro.
That's
like,
crazy.
Bro, like you can't expose niggas to nothing,
right,
man.
Bro. That's real though. That's real.
Niggas, yeah.
About 30 seconds of your time. I really appreciate your support. With every interview, my aim is to bring integrity and fun back to the culture, and I can't do it without you. If you're enjoying this episode, please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and hit the like button. It helps the algorithm. I appreciate you. Back to the interview.
I remember one time, I don't know, I think I was still in school. It was still in school. It was before that summer. It was like 9 o'clock. My mom had me like washing dishes or some shit. And there's a knock at the door, and I come to the door. There's like 8 of my homies outside. I'm like, what the fuck y'all doing? We like, oh, we just came up here. I'm like, so my mom came behind me. She's like, oh, y'all need a ride home? Like, oh no, we good. We got a ride. These niggas about to take everybody bikes, everything. Ain't no walking home. We walked up here. We riding home. Niggas confident.
Oh no.
Yeah. Like, we gonna get 4 bikes.
Ride back in style.
The younger homies gonna be on the pegs, hold on your shoulders. Niggas like walking home, man. Shit was wild.
Horrible. That's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
So for here, take us through you 21-year-old homeowner.
So 20-year-old homeowner.
What is life like around this time in your 20s?
And so life was good, man. I luckily, you get out of high school, you get a couple bullshit jobs. I was still like before this point, working with my uncle a little bit on the side, stacking my money up. And I ended up getting this real good job out in the suburbs, working in this factory, but busting my ass, hard work. But my uncle really stayed on me about saving money. So still had the money, and I'm going around. So this shit is in my head. You need to own 8 houses. You need to own 8 houses. I'm going around. I'm 20, going around to real estate offices like in my mom area, telling, hey, I want to buy a house. Just inquiring about some information. I never forget. And this place was like right on the corner, around the corner from my mom lived. They laughed at me. All the whole white office laughed at me. I'm like, all right, that really put the battery in my back. Like, all right, I'm gonna do this shit. I'm gonna do this shit. Left there, went down Frankfurt. I think I even seen this ad in the paper or something somewhere. It was this corporation, and what they did is they'd go into the hood and buy like y'all call them bandos, but like the shells,
right? Exactly.
And just build them back up. Build them up. But like you got to pick the color of the carpets, the walls, the kitchen, like all that type stuff. And so that's what I did. They approved me. They couldn't believe how young I was, but I was making decent money, and so approved me. So we lit. We had to put bro. But I brought my first crib in the hood, and I was on a good block in a bad neighborhood.
Gotcha. I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so one of my block was like a little like dead end block, but it was older people on my block.
They looked out for each other.
Yeah, they looked out for each other. They cleaned up the block like every Saturday.
Gotcha.
No, it was a real good situation. But my crib was like a corner house, but it was a former trap house.
Wow.
So it was some issues that came along with that.
Gotcha.
And I tell the story. So I had an idea when I first moved in. I'm like, all right, my mortgage, it was a $50,000 house. My mortgage was like $350.
Right. Gotcha.
And so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna rent out my rooms to my homies. So I ain't gonna pay the mortgage. And so, but shit for $350, even if I just charge them $250 a piece, that's not killing them. Like they still able to save money, and it's no money out of my pocket. Yeah. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Wow.
And so do that. And luckily, like God be working, and you just never understand it. But we move in, so at this time I got this bright red Impala.
Gotcha.
TVs in it. I ain't had no rims on it. I kept it cool, but bright red, the peanut butter inside, the dark tint. Like
which Impala was this? This
the like 2000. It was a 2002 Impala. So it wasn't the big Impala.
Okay, with the big boy.
Nah.
Okay, gotcha.
It was the other like more little sleeker.
Exactly. Yes.
But when they came out, this shit hit.
Yes,
like,
definitely.
And my shit,
I was thinking about the red. I'm like, which one?
My shit had the gold emblems, the gold Impala emblems. Like that shit kind of rare.
Wow.
So like that shit got me a little. Everybody know me in Philly from that Impala.
Gotcha.
Like that was everybody. That's Jase in that Impala.
Young kid, early 20s, homeowner.
Yeah.
Chevy rider.
Yeah.
Credit good.
Yeah.
Doing his thing.
Yeah.
You know,
and it was people putting that pressure on me. And I seen later on in life what not having that pressure would do. And so, but at this point, my stepbrother moving with me, we had both came from my mom crib. Shout out to Pop Daha. He's a Bay. So he's Tiffy Bay brother. Tiffy Bay known for his connection with Meek Mill and the Safari situation and other stuff.
Right.
But they heavy, they well known in the city. And so I was getting put onto a lot of stuff just by popping them being my stepbrother. But he moved in with me. He got a black Impala.
Gotcha.
Same Impala I got. Wow. All black, dark tinted windows. He always been a real fresh, good, get money dude.
Real.
He taught me how to dress.
Gotcha.
I never pop. I'm gonna give you that credit, bro.
Is he actually back in Philly? He's down here.
Yeah, he back in Philly.
For sure. That's
he in Philly. He owned a bar, man. Shout out Bananas Bar.
Dope.
You in Philly, go to Bananas Bar.
That's what's up.
And so he got some homies that live in the neighborhood. And actually a dude I went to high school, rest in peace to Gage. Another dude that rap. He used to come to my studio and rap. He popped on the phone with one of his homies like, yo, we just moved on McFerrin. He like, yo, you moved on McFerrin? Like around the corner from Pike Street? He like, yeah. He like, but it's a chill block. He like, yo, watch this. So Pop on the phone with this dude. This other dude take his phone and call his homies. I think he called him on 3-way. He like, yo, you got some new niggas around your way? Like, yeah, there's one nigga in a red Impala and one nigga in this other nigga in a black Impala. He like, yo, these my folks. Like, they good. He like, oh, yo, tell your people's good looking because we about to see what's up with them.
Wow.
So just, like you said, just like, doing a little, just like that. Like, it could have been some life-changing shit.
Wow,
yeah.
bro.
Just because you kind of got some shit going on.
You never know who's plotting, watching,
They
looking.
always, and just so little things like that just always shape my perception just later on in life. Not a lot of people know where I live. Not just
go ahead, bro.
It's just certain things from the city that you understand, you go through.
Wow.
And it shaped your perception. And so being in that crib, like I said, it worked out.
How long were you there?
I owned that crib until about 5 years ago.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
And so same thing. That's like I call it a cycle. So after Pop left, my homie Maul moved in.
Gotcha.
Did the same thing.
Yep.
He was paying like $800 a month at this apartment in West Philly. I'm like, bro, fuck that. Like, you paying way too much. Come with me. I'm only gonna charge you $250 or something like that.
Real.
Rack up. And he did the same. He did the same thing. He bought a crib in Mount Airy. Nice crib. He still own it. And so like I was trying to put my homies on the same game that
position.
I got. Yeah,
the same position.
So I got put onto this shit early with my brother and my uncles and everything pushing me, and so I'm like, I want the whole team to do the same shit, and so just tried to be a refuge, kind of.
That's right.
Give good energy to people. One of my homies, shout out to Ty, when he had came home, he did like I think he did like an 8 to 10 or something, 5 to 10. And just try to keep him around me every day after I got off of work. I go scoop him up.
Gotcha.
Just bring him around the crib. Then then some stuff ended up happening. And with everything that was happening, and then like my mom had moved to Atlanta about 5 years before I did.
Gotcha.
And so like I helped her move down and everything, and saw how different it was.
Go ahead.
And but I'm just like, I can't leave the city. Like everything's going good. And so other than me working, like I said, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 21.
Right.
My ass at that point, I was used to putting in the work. This is what I always tell. I was used to putting in the work. And so I taught myself how to do HTML and code, and I had 13 websites.
Wow.
At 22 years old, but at this point, at 30. So at this point,
this one websites were this
is different.
Say 2024.
This is not like GoDaddy and you go on and get a template.
You really had to code.
And you had to code.
Wow.
And but what I was doing back then, they would sell website templates on eBay.
Gotcha.
So you could go and buy the template. You just had to hook it up to a hosting site.
Wow.
And then any of the other stuff you had to code and just to fill in the blanks.
Right. Wow.
And so at this point, I'm doing that. I go out. This is when the Chargers first came out. Remember, like I go buy a Charger, the brand new. That was my first brand new car.
Wow.
The pearl white Charger. So I feel like I'm the man.
Come on now,
I don't care what car I buy in life. That feeling being 22 and that shit riding through South Street in Philly, like it's nothing like it, man. And I feel like as a young adult, everybody got to go through. You got to kind of get some of that stuff out of your system.
You do, absolutely, bro. Like the mind is still maturing.
Yeah,
that's a fact. That's
for real.
It is.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and
that's real.
And that after that, and like I said, this at this point, rest in peace, my Uncle Clack had passed away, and so I still got some of the foundation that he gave me, and but I'm living. I'm in AC every weekend, gambling, then some other shit, and when there's some stuff.
You said Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Oh, you go. How far of a ride is that from you?
It's an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I'm on that road. I'm like, shit, new car. Like every Friday. We out.
I was in all the way at the tip of New Jersey. When I was in Cape May. Yeah. I was in the tip for boot camp. But I had surgery, so I stayed an extra 3 or 4 months. But I was up in Atlantic City, bro, every day, weekend, bro.
And,
my goodness!
And shout out to my homie Maul. Like shit, we've been going to boxing matches and everything in AC like since shit probably 03, 04. Like we've been out there. Remember Kelly Pavlik, a really good middleweight. We seen a few of his fights at AC. Seen some Bernard Hopkins fights.
Did you ever go to the 40-40?
No, we ain't never go to the 40-40. That was a little bit above our level.
That's what I felt too. I was like, okay, I'm not ready. Are you ready for the 40-40?
Nah, that was different. That was different.
That was intimidating.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. That was intimidating.
Yeah. That was like, I was like, shit, like my brother and everybody's going through.
Real.
That was different. And that's what I feel like it'd be missing. Like, I feel like people knew how to play their roles and understand like their levels. Like these days, it's like everybody just want to front and fly. It's like it's okay. Like I ain't there yet.
It's okay.
Yeah,
bro. You say it.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It is okay.
Work towards it.
But work towards it. Don't waste everything you've been building just for this one moment to say that you did this and then it don't amount to nothing really. Like do the work. And I remember I got 1,000 quotes from my Uncle Clack. Wow. He said, I never wanted to be rich. And this is the dude that, I mean, he had 2-3 Benzes that, I mean, he used to tell me, like, I remember this mechanic used to change his brakes. I'm like, Uncle Clack, didn't you just get your brakes changed? He's like, yeah, I get my brakes changed just twice a year just to make sure they always good. On a 500 Benz, like brand new, just I just get them changed.
I just get them.
And he was like, I never wanted to be rich. I just wanted to be able to spend 1,000 without worrying about spending another.
Integrity.
And, and it's that mindset.
But it's that,
you got 40,000 in the bank. You ain't worried about spending 1,000 on something and then spending another 1,000. Like you shouldn't have to second guess. If you want to spend 1,000 and you're gonna be tight after that, you shouldn't spend that 1,000.
Bro, like one of my favorite quotes, and I forgot who said it, but it was like, if I can't afford it twice, I don't need it.
I think Jase said that.
You're real, bro.
And it's that mentality.
That mentality, man. Like, bro, that's
like hustle,
real.
sacrifice, build up, but make the right moves. Don't be out here trying to do too much and throw yourself off.
Real.
Just trying to impress some people, some stuff that really ain't gonna mean nothing.
But you had your ducks in order early.
I did. And like I said, at some point, so like I said, when I'm making these AC trips, I ain't thinking about that no more. Got some fly with me, and I'm moving out. But you got to get it out your system.
Right,
you got to. And I tell like certain people, like I've been a certain guy my whole life, so some stuff don't impress me, or I don't have the need for it no more.
Absolutely.
And I think like when I talk to like my female cousins and other stuff like that, I'm like, when you dealing with a dude, like make sure he got some of this stuff out of his system. Because like if he coming into the first time he making money or something like that, it's gonna be hard to trust him because that's the test for a man.
Absolutely.
Like the test for a female is when you don't got nothing. But the test for a man is when you got it all and you feeling yourself and what you do at that moment. But if you already done been there and you don't feel like you got that chip on your shoulder, you don't got that energy no more, that's when you can be chill and you ain't got to worry about somebody doing the extra stuff.
Real.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Jase. Have you always felt like you were born for music entertainment?
I feel like I was, I'm not going to lie. And so I remember, shout out to my cousin Joey, man. I'm going to get back with you as one of them things. I just been busy running around. Happy birthday, bro. I remember being on my dad's steps. And this is at the point, I don't even know if we was rapping at this point.
Gotcha.
But I was always one of them guys, could recite every lyric, just knew everything word for word. And he looked at me like, yo, you going to grow up and do something in music.
Bro.
Just like, and I would never ever forget it. I would never forget it. I'm like, and I don't even know if we talked about it last time I was just seeing him when I was back in Maryland. I'm like, bro, you called this shit. You called it. And then, like I said, there's always something that stuck with me. And even when I had the crib, like I thought about setting up a studio in the basement, but at that point I just was such in an entrepreneurial space.
Yep.
And I think of my journey, I had to learn business.
There you go.
Then.
Absolutely.
To be able to combine the music later on.
Bro, and there you go.
Yeah. And
not only that, but I had to become a recording artist to a certain degree to understand the type of artist I need to manage, the type of artist I need to surround myself with.
Yeah.
Bro, like you have the hip hop up north, you have that embedded in you.
Yeah.
It's not too many people I know that know more about music than me. You're one of them.
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate it.
You know music. Yeah. Top to bottom.
And we started it from a student perspective. Like once I got them Technique speakers, like my homie Maul, like some of my stuff you'll see I always put 5127. That's my address. That was my dad's house, 5127 North 12th Street. And my homie Maul and Don, their house was 5119.
Gotcha.
So they live like four doors down from me. So you can hear my music when I lift my windows and play my shit after I got them speakers. You can hear my shit 4 hours down.
I hate for those neighbors.
So they like, they're like, oh, Jase up. We can go to Jase crib. Like, and it was the same thing by 11 o'clock every day. Either they come into my door or I'm going to their door. And like, let's start the day. What we into today?
Wow.
And And so at this point, when I'm older, 20 something, started to live a little bit, and like I said, but with these websites. So one of the websites I had was it was an affiliate website, and for the cell phone place. So I was selling cell phone services. You could log in, go to the site, get a Verizon contract and stuff like that, or you could buy some cell phone accessories, right? And so any purchases through the site, of course, I got a commission off of.
Gotcha.
But the cell phone accessories were so cheap that I saw that like they had Bluetooth. This is when like Bluetooth in the jawbones was like the jawbone, like the whole head jawbone.
Sure.
Yeah, when they first came out, but they had them for like $30. Jawbones was like $120 at that time.
Gotcha.
And so when I saw that the prices were so cheap, I started buying them through my website, getting my commission check, then getting them shipped to me to sell on the street for profit.
Wow.
And so
and
this
undercutting the $100 price, but right at 60, 70.
Yeah. Wow. And so I'm on Craigslist killing them. I get off from work, have put an ad up right before, like maybe an hour before I leave work. By the time I get off, people calling me, so I'm dropping off as I go home.
Genius.
Killing them, and it's just certain stuff like that just always came to me. And so I'm at the point now where I'm telling my homies, I'm like, yo, you give me $100, I can give you $200 in 3 weeks. So they just giving me startup money. So now with the extra money they giving me, I'm buying digital cameras, MP3 players. I'm experimenting with different products.
See how
but I'm still with my money still getting in my regular product, which I know I can sell and get them their money back.
Gotcha.
And so just killing it. And so
you're
then
like drop shipping before it was a thing.
Before it was a thing. Yes.
Real, bro, real.
And so when I say when you ask myself what I would have told my 18-year-old self, and when I say think as a business, because at that point I should have been thinking open up a store.
Gotcha.
But I was wholesaling to people at flea markets.
Gotcha.
And other stuff. But I should have been more worried about getting more foot traffic and stuff myself.
Real.
And I should have like probably 5 little mobile stores now. Because I know what they paying for stuff. Like cell phone cases is really like 23 cents.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But they selling them for 15. Like the profit margin on that stuff is ridiculous.
Crazy.
Ridiculous.
Even with the shipping.
Yes, which it's nothing. It's nothing.
Little rubber.
Yes. Yes. It's literally like, and some like them little real thin, just rubber cell phone cases. It's like literally like 9 cents. Like literally. And so seeing that now, I'm like, oh man, like I was in that hustle mode.
Real.
Everything was hustling. I'm just like, all right, I can buy this for 30, sell it for 65, and just take my $35 in profit and just keep reeing up. But I should have just been thinking more long term. I should have been making $5,000 orders and like really getting stuff in.
But you were taking steps. It's just sometimes in hindsight, it's easy to see.
Exactly, it's easy in hindsight.
But you're like, man, I could have.
Yeah, but most people at 22 not gonna see it.
Absolutely,
you see what I'm saying? But,
absolutely.
But then I had a couple different other websites, and that's when I kind of started throwing events. Like I remember for probably my 23rd birthday or something like that, I threw an event at this bowling alley. But it was I sold tickets, and I had this travel website, and it was like a thing. If you buy a ticket, then you get entered for this free trip to somewhere else. This little program that these people was dealing with. So sold the event out. All my homies pulled up for me, but other people around the neighborhood, everything sold it out and shit. And I'm making like $800 on my birthday. And I remember my cousin looking at me like, "Damn, bro, you made money on your birthday." Wow. And I was like, that's just how my hustle was at that point. Like I didn't care about nothing else but making money.
Real.
Like I just like every day, like, all right, let's figure out another way. Like this is going good, I got that, but what other angle can I push? And
how do you spoke about your dad, your uncle, older brother, and your stepbrother, 4 pivotal men, in your life.
Yeah,
you are a natural hustler. Yeah. Like you see this world as your canvas. I know for sure. You always look at pockets. How can I, you just even from knowing you you always find avenues that are unexplored and try to reach in and be like, okay, I gotta go see if it doesn't work.
Yes.
That's who you are.
Yes. A former colleague of mine said Jason is the bucket under the leak. Like he said, wherever there's a leak at, he gonna put a bucket under there. Like you might not have even seen where the vulnerability is, but he already gonna have it covered.
Wow.
Integrity.
And it's just something that's just always been natural to me. Just understanding that not only just process, but people's behavior.
Gotcha.
Like if people want to do this, then they're gonna do that afterwards. Yeah,
That's smart.
Yeah,
That's smart.
And so like even when Philadelphia, when the thing that hit me with the Bluetooths, when they changed the law that you talk on your phone.
Gotcha.
I'm like, all right, people gonna need this, boom. And I didn't even use a Bluetooth myself. Like, but I knew that other people was gonna need it. Yeah. And that was another thing I tell people all the time. Like, when you think about a product, it doesn't matter what you personally, your personal wants, needs.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
It's
Wow.
There's 5-10 billion people out there that might need it. It doesn't matter what you like. Like, so a lot of people personalize stuff, even with music. It's not about if you don't like it or not, but there's millions of people out there that might like it.
Remove your feelings. And think on a business.
Yes.
Like, and I'm sitting there tying it back to your uncle. It's like, no,
yeah,
I removed my feelings. I did, like, no, come. Let's bro. Like that's.
I mean,
major.
he might be the type of person that want to see a sign when he go to places, but it's not about that. It doesn't matter. It's what's going to be better for this business prospering.
Wow.
And me gaining all these. I mean, like I swear to God, every time I went in for a Saturday to work, it might be 80 people that come to get their car washed, but 40 of them is the same people every Saturday because he's built this relationship and this trust with them that when they come to Clacks, they're going to get this level of service. And not only that, the stories he would tell them, like he was such a traveled and kind of like just really like kind of upscale guy. Yeah, and just people just came just to talk to him.
And he was low to the ground.
Yeah,
with everything he obtained, he still was reachable.
And there you go. The fact that people could come and talk to him was, I think, a part of the experience for people.
Wow.
And I mean, he had a huge house out in Delaware and everything. Had done a lot. He owned one of the most famous bars in Philly is Lou's and True's. It's off of Huntington Park Avenue. My uncle used to own that.
Wow.
That's where he really got popular.
Is this how your older brother got into the bars?
Kinda. Like he knows of Lou's and True's. Lou's and True's is a staple.
Wow.
And Pop always been into nightlife and culture. Like he's like fashion wise, he's like a trendsetter. Like a lot of rappers like copied over him. He was doing that stuff first. And so when my uncle owning that bar, it just kind of took him to, of course, another level financially. But he met a lot of people and he just parlayed that. He sold the bar when it was kind of at its highest value, and then transitioning and car detailing.
Gotcha.
I remember him telling me, like, a lot of people thought I was crazy.
I'm from the outside thinking that's the first thing I thought. I was why was that pivot?
They don't connect, but relationships connect. Like, if people have a relationship with you, they gonna come spend money with you no matter where you at.
Bro, this is the backhand things people don't understand.
They don't understand.
The relationships he's built are currency.
Yep.
So if this guy owns a market down here, and he's getting 20% off of items every time he walks through there, he's saving money.
Yeah.
Bro, relationships are real, bro, like in every sense of...
Every sense. So at the bar, all he's doing is talking to people. He know people's sons, daughters, everybody. And a lot of people that come get their car washed, they'd be the daughter of a lady that he knew that, and he don't watch his little girl grow up.
Right.
And they just come there because that's Uncle Clay.
And the faith is good. The relationship is trustworthy.
Yes. Wow. And just so much. And I probably didn't even connect the two at the point at that time, but it just all made sense. It all made sense. And so just kind of seeing everything, like you said, like these people was like really pivotal in my life.
Real.
But at this time, like my dad had died, my Uncle Clack died. Me and Pop, we reconciled now.
Okay, good.
But we kind of fell out.
Okay.
Just over some stuff, just being young. And so seeing my mom move to Atlanta, and I'm like, yeah, it's a different world. Honestly, it's a completely different world. I mean, because like when I say I lived on a good block in a bad neighborhood, when I made that left on my block leaving, it's like you seen The Wire, like in Amsterdam.
Absolutely.
When they just letting them sell drugs and do whatever, that's what it is. That's Pike Street. Anybody in Philly, y'all know Pike Street.
Bro,
like that.
I've been to Philly. It's exactly how it's shown on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, like Pike Street is like what everybody talk about like Kensington now. Like that's kind of how it was. It just wasn't all the junkies and everything out there, but the drug sales, the prostitution, like all that stuff. It just like cops didn't even give a care about stopping it.
And the stadium is in. You can see the stadium from every side of Philly.
Damn
it's crazy. You can see it from every side of Philly. For real, it's like just sits down in this but real, bro.
Yep. And so at this point, I'm like, all right, I think I want to move. But like I said, I got this good job,
right?
And I don't know. I'm like, damn. I flunked out of college at this point. So when I was 19, my dad died my first year of college. That kind of took some of the steam out of it.
Gotcha.
And I just was still so much in that hustle mode. Like I wanted to make money now. Like I really wasn't in seeing the benefit of a college degree long term. I just was like, I need this shit now. Like. I need to upgrade my car now. I need to, and we're just worried about short term stuff. Rather
were you
than
feeling like you were moving fast to stay busy because of?
I was definitely, and it's something I didn't realize until later on in life when I finally went to see therapy. I literally was just working myself to deal with the pain. Like I found my dad dead.
Oh, bro.
And going through that process is something that'll never leave you. And I literally was masking it. And I mean, looking back, that's the best way that I could have masked it other than doing drugs or some other stuff. But I literally was just keeping my mind busy 24/7 to not have to deal with it, to not have to face it. And it's rough. And it's something me and my brother probably haven't talked about enough. When my father passed, him and my brother was at odds, and I think my brother wished that wouldn't have been the case. And I don't even know if my brother had stepped foot back in the house since then, and I don't blame him. But it was rough, and like literally, like I had to self-diagnose myself probably 7-8 years later because I would still just randomly break down. I could be driving and look in the rearview mirror and see my father's features in my face and just boom. And I remember at this point, so I moved down here at 24. I think I was 24, 25. Of course, stayed with my mom for a little bit. She had a nice house in Jonesboro off of Flint River. And I'm seeing some other, this is when the bubble popped.
Yes.
When the real estate bubble popped.
You said this is 2000. Wait,
yeah.
Around 2008, that's when it really...
Yeah, so that's about right because I bought my house in 04. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was about 5 years later. Yeah,
that's it. Yep. 2008, 2009. That's
and
right.
So, I was like 24, 25. Right. Brought a house down here for $20,000 cash, like right off of Flint River, and it was like for me, like I'm like damn, like this is like the
this is not the down payment.
No, this is the whole. It was a HUD house.
Right.
Shout out to Frank Kearney.
Bro.
Like I don't think he has his office on Main Street in Jonesboro no more. But schooled me to the game. Like, and it's just such. Everybody talks about not to say racism doesn't exist in itself, but as a 20-year-old kid up north,
go ahead, bro.
I go into a real estate office and get laughed at. 25-year-old down here, I go to this guy's real estate office, tell him I want to pay cash for a property. He breaks down the whole HUD game to me.
Wow.
Like jewels, like gems, help me understand. Hey, all right, so if you working with this type of liquid assets,
right.
They wanted $25,000 for the house, but if you bid within 10% of the asking price, they can accept it right there, and the bid doesn't go back out. Wow. So if I would have bid $18,000,
you would have been outside the market.
Well, then the bid goes. Then everybody else that bid on the house sees my $18,000 offer,
gotcha,
and they get a chance to bid higher. But if I pay within 10% of the asking price, which was I bid $22,500 within that 10%, yeah, and they accepted it, so nobody else gets to try to outbid me.
Wow,
gems. Rest in peace, Frank Kearney. I'll never forget that.
Wow.
Never forget that. And just duality. This white guy helped me. I remember I still had my Philly tags, and this goddamn Clayton County cops pulled me over. And I got this envelope of cash. Me still being ignorant, I just know I want to buy this house.
Right.
So I go to the office with $20,000 in cash.
Gotcha.
I'm thinking he the HUD office. Like I don't know. I'm still young.
Okay, we can keep it right here. But
yeah. And so I get pulled over because I still got Pennsylvania tags.
Right.
And
is this the red?
Nah, I got the Charger. I got the Charger.
Okay.
Yeah, the white Charger by this point.
Even worse.
Down here, yes, yeah. And so he pulled me over.
Gotcha.
See this cash in the passenger seat, and I'm trying to explain. I'm like, I'm on the way to a real estate office, and he keep me there for like an hour and a half. I'm late as hell getting to the office because he keep me there. But he finally just give me a ticket.
Gotcha.
For having out of state plates for too long.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because I didn't know it was a thing.
It was a thing. Real. Wow.
And so, but go there. He put me on the game, and so everything good at that point. But I stayed here for 3 years, and then I moved to Central Florida.
Okay, gotcha.
So the company I was working with gave me an opportunity, and I went with it. And so it was around that time. Now it's different when I'm in Atlanta, and at least I know my mom is here.
Right.
In Florida, I didn't know anybody.
And you right up the street, so you knew she was in good.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm literally right. Like I could walk. It was like a 5-minute walk to her house.
Gotcha.
And so I don't know anybody in Florida, but I'm moving all my stuff with me. So all my stuff from Philly. And so when I'm in Florida, I get a house there, and I'm going through all my stuff, and I find my 4-track, all my tapes and everything, and yes, it sparks that flame a little bit. And I'm going through tapes, man. Rest in peace to my homie Mike J. He one of the first artists that we recorded, man. Immaculate lyricist. Wow. Like he was on that. He could rap, but he was on like that Fabulous Fly shit. Gotcha. Like always been one of them dudes. Like this dude was coming to middle school. I was in 5th grade in middle school. He was in like 7th, 8th grade. My man was coming to middle school with straw hats on.
Gotcha.
Like fly, like some linen and fly in the 8th grade. In the 8th grade.
Wow.
Like rest in peace, my nigga Mike J, man. Just another dude I grew up with that died early just for no reason.
Wow. No
reason. And like this one thing, as I'm making these moves in life, one thing I always told myself is I would never have a son in Philadelphia. I would never have a child in Philadelphia. I don't want my son raised around and having to make these decisions and navigating through all of this craziness and so much stuff. I just end up meeting in the club the cousin of one of my other childhood homies that fought another childhood homie of ours. Other dude lost, and the dude's brother blew his brains out. Just right there on the curb. And these niggas all went to kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade together, and just ego just out of control.
Wow.
And it's traumatizing situations.
Wow, man.
That you go through. That's why, like, I'm a huge Meek fan, and I will forever be a Meek fan because he's speaking just a language and an issue when he makes them songs like Trauma and all of, like, it's real stuff. And I remember I was talking to somebody on the phone the other day about meeting this lady, and she my homie Niall cousin, and telling her everything that happened to Tyler. Like, it brought tears to my eyes. Like it's just crazy the amount of just senseless violence.
It is, bro.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
Your stepbrother is still there.
Still there. But like I said, they bays. They real. I mean, these everybody's heard of Philly Black Mafia. Like that, like that's their descendants.
Oh wow!
Like they're like really tied in, but they done kind of went on to do good with their life, and everything, and move past that chapter.
When people do good in Philly, where do they migrate? Is it just right out the outskirts?
So you got Cheltenham. That's a suburb of Philly.
Gotcha.
The one thing about like down here, y'all got so many different counties.
Absolutely.
Like Philadelphia is just Philadelphia County.
Right.
Like it's just one big county.
Los Angeles.
Right. And then so you got Delco, which is I think like Abington and all of them these other counties. No, I think that's Shellingham County, but it's like 3 or 4 counties. It's Montgomery County, actually Bucks County, where I used to work at. Like I said, my job was in the suburbs. Bucks County is decent. And then you got like Wyncote and others like that's where like Bill Cosby and like all of them moved to like out there. That's where most of like the Sixers players like, stay in there. Or you go to Jersey across the bridge.
Real. Yeah. Which was about would you say 20, 30 minute commute? Yeah,
20, 30 minutes from like lower Jersey, like Cherry Hill and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
And then to the north, I think that's north, you got Trenton.
Right.
That's where Trenton is, and Trenton ain't no joke.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I went over to Trenton for some cell phone sales. I'm like, oh, this shit real over here.
My mom's from Newark.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
bro.
Yeah, it's definitely different over there.
Wow.
And like they and even I went through Camden one time with my homie chasing some girls. I'm like, bro, turn around.
Like, all right.
Yeah, like I grew up in like certain neighborhoods, but that shit is different. Like it's everything almost abandoned. Like it's crazy. It's almost like how Southwest Philly is horrible. It's like almost like South Bronx. Like it's like a war area. Like it's bad.
So how do you, with everything you've been through, your mindset, how do you shift? You're in Florida now.
Mm-hmm.
What takes place in this? You said 3 years, correct?
Yes.
So what takes place in this 3 years? How are you building back up? The entertainment. The music. How are you on the scene there, or you kind of?
Nah. So there, I'm kind of just plotting next steps.
Gotcha.
And so, like I said, I was really kind of worried about my professional life, but
you knew that was temporary. You knew it was.
Yeah. Real. And I'm just at this point, I seek therapy for like dealing with the trauma.
Right.
And so I remember my mom coming down to my house in Florida, and her talking to me. I think I mentioned either earlier that day or the day before, I just kind of broke down about my dad, but she goes into my bedroom and it's like pictures of me and my dad, or my dad kind of around her room, and she like not to be disrespectful, but don't like at some point you got to kind of close that chapter about removing some of this stuff around you. Like I know you want the reminder, but the reminder is kind of holding you like in this emotional cage right now.
Gotcha.
And so that's when it like really hits me that like I need to.
It took a lot for you to even say that.
Yeah, it did, and like, I needed it.
Real.
I didn't know how much I needed it because I was emotionally in a cage, and I like literally like I still was in a work like phase. It was to the point like I set my goal on helping this company succeed so much. I would work 40, 45 hours. Then probably work another 20 hours off the books.
Gotcha.
I mean, I just was like, it was, number one is I'm in the house with my 2 dogs. and literally the house was like 5 minutes from where I was working.
Gotcha. And
I'm just like still in that work mode. And then
was this a startup company or something like?
It was. So I had opened up a startup branch, like a satellite branch for them.
So you were the head.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
So I was second in command.
Real.
And but I was just focused on like, all right, building up. But at this point, I got this house in Florida. Still got my white Charger. Then I went out and brought the Hyundai coupe. I had the Genesis coupe.
Gotcha, classic.
And so
what was the change? What was the reason for the change?
I felt like it was more Florida. Like it was more of a Florida looking. I never had a coupe before.
Real.
And so I'm like, all right, let me try something different.
You said Central Florida. Where exactly?
So I was in Lakeland.
Yeah,
right in between Orlando and Tampa.
Gotcha.
And so I lived in Lakeland for about a year and a half. Then I kind of got bored, messing around with females. I lived in Tampa for a year on Davis Island.
Okay. Gotcha.
And just complete different world from where I'm from.
Still with the same company?
Still with the same company. Just a longer commute.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
still driving that.
Gotcha.
Then my last year and a half, 2 years in Florida, I moved to Orlando.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. And so just digesting all of these different areas, different cultures, everything. And I just was still in like this nomadic type of thing. I just wanted to, I knew, like you said, I knew, but I didn't know. It was a subconscious thing that, all right, this is temporary.
Gotcha.
But one point that I was at, I was like, all right, I put enough of work, kind of in my professional career. I flunked out of college early, but I think that college degree is important to me now.
Really?
Because I've gained enough experience doing stuff. I think this piece of paper makes sense now if I pair it with all of the experience I've gained.
What was your major?
So I ended up going for business management.
Gotcha. Classic.
And so at this point, I'm like, all right, I need to get out of Florida and get back to Atlanta, because in Atlanta, my house is already paid for.
Real. I was going to ask, did you have someone living there, or are you just kind of going back, checking up on it, making sure everything's good?
Yeah, so my mom was staying in it.
Okay, gotcha.
And so at this point, when the bubble popped, I benefited from it by finding a cheap house. But she still was in this house that she paid $250,000 to. Yeah. And so I'm like, Mom, stop paying for that.
Real.
Like, this is paid off.
Gotcha.
And I remember she used to joke with me. She like, when she used to come over, like, oh, she hit the doorbell. He was like, oh, this doorbell, like, it's like ding dong. She was like, all I hear this is paid off. When I come to the door.
I love it. That's real.
Yeah, so I was like, Mom, just stay here, like, and whatever. And so it worked out. So I remember calling her, and she's always been one pushing me, go back to school, go back to school,
Real.
go back to school. And so I'm like, all right, I'm listening now. I know I done ignored you all these years about going back to school.
Gotcha.
But I need to go back now. And so she was like, all right, well, plan it out for a couple months. But it was a feeling that was so heavy on my heart.
Real.
And something just in my head was telling me I needed to make this change now. And I remember, like, I was dating this girl, and we would go on dates to this mall, and it had a movie theater and everything. And we never really looked at anything else in this mall except this movie theater. And diagonal from the movie theater was a bookstore. And I remember a couple of times we went to the movies there. Something's telling me, go to that bookstore.
Wow.
Go to the bookstore. And I'm like, I ain't read a book in forever.
Gotcha.
And but I was in this routine where, like, I would leave the house, drop this girl's kids off, and I would run to the gym. Like, I was doing 2 days at the gym, best shape of my life.
Gotcha.
Everything. And on my way to work one day, after I kind of this is before I put this plan in place, something told me, now go to that mall and go to the bookstore. Get off the highway, go to the bookstore. Don't know what I'm there for. Just I'm just following this feeling. And I see this book. It's called Once Upon a Cow. And I'm like, all right, it seemed right. $15.99. Boom. Reading it just changes my whole life. I'm gonna write a book one day called $15.99 Changed My Life. And so reading this book, and it's about how everybody has, so the premise is based on this old folk tale about this Asian master, like a teacher,
right?
And then this student, and so the master is asking him, why do you think people live in the conditions or are in life, like where they are? And the students, like, their environment, like, they grow up in these environments and they're kind of trapped under those circumstances. So we said, okay, let's take a trip. So he says they take a trip to the poorest village and the poorest town in this whole village, in this Chinese village. So they go travel, take this train, go to the village. And I mean, in this, like, shacks and decrepit, it's just really small houses. So they go to the worst looking house or hut in this village, and go knock on the door. The guy opens the door, clothes are torn, everything, and they say, "Hey, can we come in and have something to eat?" Guy lets them in, and it's the guy, his wife, his 2 kids, and their grandfather and grandmother. They're all living in this little hut. And in the book it says they wore their situation on their face. Like, it's just everybody sitting down to eat is just, I interpret it as they all are looking just like desperate, like they're sad, they're in poverty, like they just have that look on their face. So the guy's talking to him. The students asking him like, "Hey, how y'all in this situation? Like, what's going on? How do y'all survive? Like, the little y'all are able to survive. How are y'all able to?"
Right.
And the guy says, "Well, we mainly get by because all of us, and thank God we have this, but we all take care of this cow that we have." So he looks out back. They have this kind of real bad rinky-dink fence around their yard, and they have this one cow. And so the guy walks them outside. So yeah, we take turns. We make sure that the grass is plentiful for the cow to eat. The only nutrients that we get is from the cow's milk. And so some of us, they wash the cow. The grandparents, they take the milk to the market to sell. And so everything that we're doing is revolved around this cow. Wow. But thank God we have it, because we wouldn't survive without it. And so they talk to him a little bit more. They have the little bread dinner and everything, real poor meal. And so the master and the student leave the house, and they're just kind of sitting on the fence looking at the cow.
Right.
And then the master says to the student, "So do you understand the problem?" And the student's like, "Nah, but I mean, like, these people are in this horrible condition. I wish there was something we could do to help them." The master pulls out a knife and slits the cow's throat. Like, they're on the other side of the fence looking at the cow, and he takes out his knife and slits the cow's throat. And the student is just appalled, like, how could you do this? These people aren't gonna be able to survive. Like, how could you be so cold and so cruel? And the master starts walking back for them to get back on their train, and the student's just cussing them, like begging them to do something to help these people the whole way. And so they get back on their train, go back to their village. The student doesn't speak to the master at all afterwards. And one day, the master, 2 months later, the master shows back up at his classroom, like, "Hey, let's take a trip back to that village."
Go ahead.
So they go back to the same beat down village, and they're looking around, and they see a hut, and they think it's in the same spot that the other one was, but now it's a different, more modern, better looking, bigger hut there now. And like, this can't be the same place that we went last time, but let me go knock on the door and see. They go knock on the door, and same guy opens up, but now he's got a nice collared shirt on, nothing too expensive, but functional, modern shirt. And he's smiling when he opens the door. They say, "Hey, do you remember us from before?" The guy said, "Hey, yeah, come in, have dinner." So same family members there. Everybody's more kind of jovial, not like laughing and happy, but they're happier.
Pleasant.
Yeah, pleasant. Having a meal with some vegetables and more than the bread that they had before. And so he's like, "Hey, so what's going on? How did you guys get this newer house?" And the student's just amazed. And so the guy's like, "Man, shortly after you guys left before, one of our jealous neighbors killed our cow. Like they probably were jealous because of everything we were able to get from it. But we took some of the meat from the cow, we sold it, and then some of the meat we used to eat, but the money that we were able to get from the meat, we brought seeds with it. And so we had this huge yard that the cow used to roam before, but now we use the yard to plant vegetables and fruit. And so we get so many vegetables and fruit now that we can sell them all at the market, and pretty much the whole town buys fruits and vegetables from us now."
Wow.
And so one of our grandparents goes to sell the fruit, one of us goes to sell the vegetables, and me and my wife and the kids, we kind of plant and till and take care of the whole garden that we have now. Right. And so they leave, the master and the student, and the master says, "Now do you see the problem?" So yeah, they were all just so focused on the cow, they couldn't see the other opportunities that they had, because they just focused on this one thing being in their way, or this one thing is that they have to focus on, that they couldn't see the bigger picture other than that. And so the author goes on to explain that everybody has cows. Everybody has things that's in their life that mentally they fixate on and don't remove it because they just keep making up these excuses.
Wow.
Integrity.
Wow.
It blew my brain. And I looked at me going to school, and my cow was, I keep saying I don't have enough time. I don't do all these excuses that we all make up for ourselves every single day. And so he said the author was saying cows have become so common that they're in just natural colloquial phrases and everything that we say. So some of the examples he gave was, we always say the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know.
Gotcha.
That's something our grandparents used to say. Oh, so the author's like, so you're telling me I shouldn't go and do something that I don't know or that I don't know how to do just because I know how to do this one thing.
Wow.
It doesn't, from a logical standpoint, it doesn't make sense. Why can't I go and learn how to do something else just because I know how to do this one thing?
Wow.
Another one that says, oh, you're a natural at something. So I might be good and have natural abilities at this, but I could learn something else and become a master at it. So just because I'm good at this shouldn't get in my way of learning something else. And then so at this point, the edition of the book I got was after he released the first copy, and then he went on his book tour, and he was given kind of statements that the audience members were saying after, like, during the book tour. So this lady came up to him. She says, I'm a florist, and I've had my flower shop for 4 or 5 years now, and my husband is my cow, and I'm glad that I read your book because he doesn't support my business. I keep begging him, I keep asking him, and the author said, well, ma'am, if you think your husband is your cow, then you read my book completely wrong, because another person could never be your cow. So he says, you're telling me that people aren't coming and buying flowers from you because your husband doesn't support you. It's not because you don't market your products correctly. It's not because you don't have a big enough sign out front. It's not because you don't go out and tell enough people about your flowers. It's not because you don't give flowers out as samples for people to come back. You're telling me that it's because your husband won't support you. And she just looked at him with a blank face.
Wow.
And
the parallel of creating these
excuses, yeah,
that is crazy.
Yes.
My husband is that is. But
you are not doing all of these other things that you need to do that are essential as a business owner. You're ignoring doing all of them because your husband won't help you.
And that's the low hanging fruit to even say.
Yes,
because that's the comfort,
the basic. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's convenient to say.
Go ahead, bro.
To point that finger there instead of going out and doing the work necessary.
Wow.
And I mean,
Once Upon a Cow.
I recommend everybody to read it
tonight.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, phenomenal book. I probably come back and read it every 2 years or something like that. And it changed everything for me. And I stopped looking for excuses of everything that I wanted to do and just started putting an action plan together.
Real.
And going to school was my first kind of thing on my checklist. I needed the kind of polishing. I still had too much hustler in me, just from just the street attitude, and then growing up in Philly, and it's something I still battle today. You see me out at these events, I'm still kind of closed up.
Absolutely.
Don't speak enough as I did. I mean, growing up in Philly, you people walking past you keep your head down, you keep
That's
moving.
A fact. That's right.
Yeah, and then we got this whole phrase being Joe or Dickie, and then other stuff. You can't even, yo, bro, I see what you're doing. The way we greet each other, if I grew up, hey, get off board, Dick. What the fuck?
Real. You're right, though.
And it takes, I was talking to my homie John, shout out Jay, the other day. He's down here for a little bit. He's from Philly. He's from, I grew up on the 5100 block of 12th Street. He's from the 5200 block. And he's like I had to get out of that shell. It's okay to talk to people and meet new people. But growing up, like you was asking, did I seek out other producers or other DJs? We couldn't do that. It wasn't we couldn't. We just had this mental cage on no, fuck boy, no, we gonna
create our own, linking up.
And the thought of it was correct that we want to do this, but not reaching out for resources that's already done it is just stupid. It is literally stupid. It makes no sense. That that situation could have went completely different.
Absolutely.
Just reaching out.
Right. That's so true, bro.
Just trying. We were at a record store every day buying records and didn't think to talk to nobody else that's in there.
That's all in your network.
Yeah.
Probably saw them twice.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
That's real.
And
That's real.
But like that's the stuff you look back on and like, all right, that was dumb. I don't want to make that mistake again. Yeah.
Real. So moving forward, now you come back to Atlanta.
Come back to Atlanta. I'm kind of talking to some of the people I know from back home.
Gotcha.
That do some stuff in the music. Just keeping an ear. Like my man Face Money, he was still rapping at that point. Excuse me. He's made the pivot to videography.
Gotcha.
He's now shooting content and everything. He's done stuff on BET.
Gotcha.
Done stuff for the NFL, the Super Bowl, I think.
Right.
A lot of different commercial stuff. Now he's coming out with his own movie and other stuff. He got a fragrance line.
That's dope.
So like what I've seen is creators create. Whether it's music, something else, like everybody that I grew up with that had that creative itch, they found an outlet for it. Shout out my man Brandon B Davis, Branding Davis is now he calls himself. Sure. Another guy I know rap his ass off. Honestly, and I say this, people think I'm crazy. Cassidy shouldn't have been on Rough Riders, or Cassidy should have been signed after. My homie B should have been on Rough Riders.
Wow.
But he really didn't care enough about rap at that point. He was doing what he was doing, and that's what he thought it was. But he had an unfortunate situation where his brother Rick died, and he started this Rick Foundation. Then he was like reaching the inner city kid. He created this foundation about it, and it was a traumatizing loss for him. Yeah. And then that started this magazine that he created called American Dreaming Magazine. And then he another one. He taught himself how to build websites and other stuff. He just had a mind. Like they say, a lot of drug dealers could be Fortune 500 CEOs, and I think he took a lot of what he knew and just applied it to something else.
Gotcha.
You know, I mean, I'm so proud of this guy, man.
That's what's up.
When I see you on B, you an inspiration, man.
That's real, bro.
When I see you going to Italy and France and other stuff, man. Like I remember, like you coming, you just rapping your ass off at the crib.
It's dope.
And rest in peace, my homie Mike J. One of his uncles was in JBM, the Junior Black Mafia.
Gotcha.
Which was they were a notorious drug game in the early '90s in Philly, and he had wrote a book. He was doing a profile on his one of his cousins, his uncle, Bucky Davis, and he was going like this is like 06, 07, probably before that. He was trying to make like a film network and everything, and he was going to start it off with books. And take it to other places, but unfortunately he was killed. And just a lot of us we branched off. My homie Maul J, he's a real estate mogul. I call him a mogul now. He got probably 5, 6, 7 houses. But him seeing me by my crib, he's like, oh man, I need to go get some cribs.
That's right. That's right. For sure.
It's just that spark. I love being that spark for people. And so at this time, I'm kind of still reaching out to people and just figuring out, I know I need a pivot. I know I need to get back into that entrepreneurial space.
Right.
Because I'm getting all of this knowledge in school. And one thing that's helped me so much professionally, I was able to use it as soon as I learned it.
Real.
And so it helped keep that spark in me that, all right, this shit is valuable because now I'm learning accounting and that's why.
What was your minor?
I did business management. What did I do as a minor? I forget. My minor was pre-engineering.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha. For sure. Gotcha.
And so when I was living in Philly and working for the factory, I used to work with a lot of engineers there, like kind of learning to build some stuff after I worked my way up. And like their whole train of thought and everything was another thing that really sparked me.
Gotcha.
And so I really wanted to learn more of that.
Real.
And at one point I was thinking about moving back to Philly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
But my son's mother ended up getting pregnant.
That's right.
And so instead of moving from Florida back to Philly, I moved back to Atlanta.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Real.
And so at that point, switched jobs. I felt like had provided enough value for this company.
Gotcha.
And I wanted it shown in my paycheck. And
Real.
and it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't.
You was with them for how long?
I started there in 2011.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So it's, let me say I moved to Florida in 2013, and 5 years after. So it's like 2017, probably something.
Gotcha.
coming back to Atlanta. And so I put myself out to the market, ended up going to another place. And while there, ran into this guy named Rashad Fields. Y'all know him as RPG Shad.
Come on, Shad.
Integrity.
And so he's like, hey, man, me and my homies, we be out. And then, so at this point, even though I had lived in Atlanta 3 years prior to that,
Right.
I had never really been out in Atlanta.
Went outside.
Yeah,
You
I was
came
still
back,
in grind mode.
Real.
I was still in grind mode when I was here. But being in Florida, went to therapy. Like my brain was different when I came back to Atlanta. Like I was kind of getting over. I was over a lot of stuff from my past, and so he invited me out. Saying, "Hey, no, hey, I got this homie KD that he got a show."
God.
And so got up hanging around these guys, and it brought everything back. And doing like I said, from going from the music early in life and then getting on the digital space with the websites and everything, seeing what they was doing, I'm like, hey, it gotta be a way that we can get this stuff out digitally.
Real.
And reach more people. Cause I still just had that mindset like, yeah, I can get off a certain X amount hand to hand, like by meeting people.
Right.
But I can sell even more if I can just get people to come to this website.
Real.
And so translating just that thought process over to music, we was kind of looking for some other people, and Shad knew this other guy named Yaquan, that was doing he was doing like Spotify playlists and stuff.
Gotcha.
And as soon as we had that consultation meeting with Quan, I'm like, all right, this playlist and all that shit, this is where it's at.
So y'all building the team
And so,
strategically.
kinda, I'm meeting these people, but I leave that meeting from Yaquan. I call my homie Maul up, and Maul, he always been the homie that we taking them car rides to AC. He got the playlist. He got the aux cord.
Gotcha.
Like he gonna put the playlist together.
Gotcha.
Like he got that shit. And so I'm like, Maul, yo, I want you. This is late, like mid 2019.
Gotcha.
I'm like, Maul, like I need you to put these songs on this playlist, and I'm gonna figure out a way to get people to follow it.
Real.
But this is like, as far as music marketing, this is like the future. This is where it's at. And now we just getting exposed to this, but Spotify was probably created 5 years before this.
Gotcha.
And so we kind of late in the game, but early kind of, like as a culture, for some reason, like for technology wise, we jump on late.
We do.
We jump on late.
That's a fact.
And so that's why they control so much, and we really don't control a whole lot. And so we built these playlists, and I kind of teach myself digital marketing just trial by fire.
Gotcha.
I'm like, so these Instagram ads, these Facebook ads, and all this stuff, I'm like, all right, let me just see what I can do to try to get people to follow this playlist. And I'm pushing, promoting.
Gotcha.
I understand the message board and the digital space and the Reddit communities and all the communities like that. So I'm reaching out to everything.
Wow.
Everybody figuring out, trying to meet new people, meet a few people that have playlists that's doing it way before me, and we're on college campuses.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's how they build up they following.
Gotcha.
I mean, these people got 100,000, 200,000 followers on their playlists.
Where's their main playlist going to? Is it to Spotify, or is it's everywhere?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
most of the time they were building on Spotify.
Gotcha. Wow.
Because in this process, I spend about the next 8 months learning the difference between all the different DSPs.
Gotcha.
So Spotify is different from Apple in 3, 4, or 5 ways. Apple is different from Audio Mac in 3, 4, or 5 ways. Like they all were built kind of on their niches.
Gotcha.
And Spotify's original purpose was to give the independent artists a fair playing ground against established artists.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so like all these platforms that we deal with are algorithmic platforms.
Right.
But on Spotify, the artist has an algorithm, the song has an algorithm, the album has an algorithm, and the playlist has an algorithm. And there's all rules and everything that kind of go into it. So from a playlist standpoint, the algorithm of your playlist is high if you change out your songs at least every 30 days.
Wow.
So there's a clock that's running when you're putting these songs on. They want to see that you as a curator, you're fresh and up on music.
So how does that work? Okay, so how does that work? Just say it is 30. How many songs do you normally put on there?
I try not to go more than like 70, 80. And that's rare that I'll go that high.
Do you do it based upon what songs exit out of for the next 30 days? Do you do it based on performance?
And so the cheat code is you can take a song off and put it back on. And now the clock
restarts.
Yeah.
Always good. Real. Gotcha.
And so
but you just want to see movement. You don't want to see stale.
You want to see movement. And my thing is just as a somehow like as we're reaching these different avenues and sites and gaining clients, as I call the thousands of people that's playlisted with me over the years. That's when I learned how global music is and rap music.
Gotcha.
And so when I'm putting myself on these different sites and promoting the playlists, and like daily playlists and all these other sites, there's tons of sites out there. And now I'm getting submissions from people in the UK and Switzerland and Sweden and all this stuff. I'm like, damn, they rapping out there? Wow. Like it's amazing to me. And now I'm at the point with playlisting, I'm waking up to money.
Wow.
So like they on a whole different time. And so I'm DMing these guys on our time and they getting back to me at noon their time, which is 6 a.m.
Gotcha.
Our time. So I'm waking up. I'm like $200-$300.
Wow.
And like I'm like, Maul, like I think we got something.
Wow.
And so after spending this 8-9 months, as I'm spending these 8-9 months learning about the DSPs, I'm heavy what I call it guerrilla marketing.
That's right.
With getting these playlists out there. Like I'm spending a lot of money.
Bro, that's what and you've never been afraid to spend, put your own money up.
No.
Never been afraid to.
I mean, because I had that understanding. I know you got to buy the house to get the tenant in it.
Come on, bro, that's a fact.
Like you got to put the money up.
That's a fact, bro.
At the beginning, that's just how it goes. And if you believe in yourself, then it's a part of the process. It's part of the process.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And like I said, I've never been scared of the work from learning how to HTML and code, from professional wise. Like when I moved to Atlanta, I had to start all over. Like I was a supervisor at my job back home. When I moved to Atlanta, I'm starting back on the floor and working myself up to upper management.
Gotcha.
And so I always landing on my feet in Atlanta was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because I knew I could duplicate my success.
Real.
So like it was scary moving here because I'm like, damn, can I find another good job? Can I be as good as another job as I was at my old job?
Right.
Like, was it just something, you know what I'm saying? Like, was it something that happened? Because like I said, even as much as my brother was a really good role model to me and influence, my brother was with one company for 40 years. So I'm like, I'm still coming from that mindset. Like, damn, like you got to stay somewhere.
Safe.
Safe.
Not saying it's bad,
No, for real.
Safe,
And so I'm abandoning all that. But one person's experience. So, you grow up around people, you looking at their life as things that can influence you.
Absolutely.
And so my mom and my grandfather, my mom's father, my mom came from a real country town in Maryland, was the first one out of her, I think 6-7 siblings to move out of the country into the city, into Baltimore. Then she moves out of Baltimore to Philly.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Then that's how she meets my dad. Then she moved back to Baltimore or to Maryland after her and my dad fall out, and then back to Philly later on in life. And I'm looking at like where she ended up later on in life, and I'm like, if my mom can do it and move and pick up and pivot and then I can do it. And I look at my grandfather. Now, I don't know. This is stuff I'm still researching, but my grandfather, like his side of the family, they had acres of land.
Gotcha.
When I say in Maryland, like when I grew up, my grandfather had pigs, chickens, like a whole lot of land.
That's
like
what my grandfather was too.
And my grandfather was a man of few words, and I really tried hard as a kid to gain his approval. I just wanted his attention. I wanted him to say, "Good job." And so, like, my other cousins, they used to run around wild, and my grandfather was like, "They ain't worth shit." Da, 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 da. But him asking me to do stuff for him was a reward for me.
Gotcha.
Like, so when he asked me to cut the grass, I'm gonna do it right. And he one of them people, like, he gonna tell you 1,000 things you did wrong before he tell you one thing you did right.
Bro.
But I listened. I wanted,
Absolutely.
like, I cut the grass, and he's like, "Oh, you should have did da, 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 da." So, all right, next time I'm gonna do that. So he kind of taught me the process of evaluating what you're doing and looking at ways you can do it better while you're doing it. Don't wait until after it's done.
Right.
Like be in the moment and see, okay,
Gotcha.
when I made this pattern, when I'm cutting the grass, I didn't make that one as sharp. So next time I make the pass, let me try to straighten it up.
Real.
And so I always wanted his approval. But my grandfather is somebody that, to my knowledge, never worked for anybody else a day in his life.
Wow.
He had his farm, he had other stuff, and he raised his family. I'm not saying he was a perfect man. Some other stuff was going on, but I always looked at him as somebody I wanted to be like.
Real.
You know what I mean? And like I said, he passed with acres of land, acres of land, and it was like I said, it's amazing how they got all this land. But everybody around us, everybody, like, it was like a steep hill that went up, and so my grandfather's house was like kind of midway up the hill.
Gotcha.
Then his sister's house was at the top of the hill. Then down the hill on the other side, his other siblings had trailers and stuff.
Wow.
And so all of this was family land. And probably 20 years before that, that whole side of the street was family land.
Wow.
And so, like, looking back in Maryland,
Wow.
and looking back at it, like we always hear about the whole 40 acres and a mule thing.
Right.
Maryland, like, that started in Maryland. Like, that was a Maryland general that made that proclamation that slaves could get 40 acres and a mule.
Wow.
Now, I haven't researched enough to know if that's how they got the land, but I think it has something to do with it. And so, just knowing the work that he put, that's where I get my work ethic from.
Real.
Like as far as like working, I really wanted his approval, like as far as working. And
he had a high standard.
Tremendously high standard.
Yeah, the normal thing that most people get a pat on the back. He like, no, it could be better.
Yes,
you could do better.
Yeah,
man, that's
and just
real.
Like I said, few words. I probably said 18 words to me my whole life, but they were impactful, and just listening to him, and even the way he used to stand, like I caught myself later on in life standing like that.
Gotcha.
Like, it's just
real.
the little things you pick up,
bro. That's real.
Yeah, as a kid. And so when I'm in this mode and like kind of fast forward to, I know I got something with the playlisting thing.
Gotcha.
And
for the artists watching, you know, how can they get in contact with you to get on the playlist, and what do they have to have besides what are you looking for to get on your playlist?
And so I'm no longer in the space where I take any music.
Gotcha.
So 2018, 2019, I'm just focused on running it up.
Gotcha.
Like I'm really on some scale stuff.
Gotcha.
And so I was the guy, when I see my competitors charging $150, $200 for placements, I was the guy charging $20, $30, and I can do 150 placements in a week, and he might do 3 or 4.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So I wanted the money through scale, and so that's why I built 4 different playlists.
Wow.
And he just had one. So I had 4 playlists with 80,000 followers, and he had one playlist with 150,000 followers. But my 4 different playlists allowed me to keep people coming in.
Absolutely.
So even if I'm doing 150 a week at $30 a pop,
come on, bro.
I'm still making good money, still eating
great money.
And so I understand the game, and I mean, this is the first time I'm gonna say it out loud. We made $80,000 the first year.
Wow.
Playlisting.
Wow.
And so, but I spent $93,000.
but you was able to see that it could be done.
It could be done.
That's the part.
And so for that second year, gearing up, I'm doing these numbers at the end of the year, and I'm like, all right, like this is where everything need to go. And so one mistake I made, like as you were speaking earlier about the cups.
Yes.
And so at this point, I'm established and playlisting to the point where it's YouTube videos of people like giving reviews and a lot of different stuff and using my playlist.
Wow.
Like, hey, these are the results I got from it, from a budget amount as far as what I. So there's one guy, he like, I had $1,000 to spend. I used all these different playlists. And Next Level Sounds, I spent X amount, and these are the results. And he was like, when you get to mine, he like from the budget wise, you like it was perfect.
Gotcha.
And that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be the budget one. I didn't want to charge $100 like
real. You wanted to see, the results from what it was. Like I'm giving value. And
using my uncle's kind of mindset, I figured like at some point I want to build a bigger net. So the more artists I can cycle through,
gotcha.
The more artists, all right, I can get you for $30 for the playlist, but maybe I can get you for $50 for something else. And so kind of walk you through an assembly line now. Because now if I get you in for the car wash, now I can get you pay $30 for the car wash, I get you to pay $80 for the wax.
Real.
I get you to pay $150 for the complete detail. But I got to get you in the door first. So it's that same mindset.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. And so we doing great, but one thing I did early, so I'm meeting all these other people that curate.
Gotcha.
Like I said, now a lot of them, we in the same, I see what they doing. They got artists that they work with, right? And so they like, hey, Jase, let's do a swap. I'll send you a song of an artist I work with. Send me a song of an artist you work with.
Gotcha.
I'm like, shit, I don't really work with nobody. But then I'm like, at this point, KD got some stuff going on.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, take this song.
Right.
And we seeing results. And at this point, I'm just experimenting with stuff. Like, all right, if I give it to these 5 people, what did it do? Da-da-da. And so I know about 80, 90 curators at this point.
Wow.
And so I'm adding up all of our follower count. I'm like between all of our playlists, we got 5 to 8 million like followers.
Wow.
So I'm like on some I feel like I can distribute our artists now. If I got all of these outlets,
all these networks,
bro, that I can send it to, like I could really push somebody to a large scale, and so that starts Next Level Sounds distribution.
Come on, wow.
That was the second step I took, and I jumped the gun.
Go ahead.
Because I felt like I was coming off a good year, bringing in a good amount of income.
Right.
But music distribution is expensive as hell.
Absolutely.
And so when we started everything, I think the first song we did was Slitherilla, Chanel. We did that on 420.
Gotcha.
That was the first release. But we did 100,000 streams in like 6 to 8 months.
Wow. Come on.
And so at that point, I'm like, all right.
Go ahead. You see
we working. And like prior to that, I think KD had got on any day, I think he got like 60, 70,000 streams, and that took me like probably like a year or something. But I'm like, all right, like this can work. And so I'm building my network out. I got guys, like some guys will do swaps with me.
Gotcha.
Some guys they want their money.
Gotcha.
I respect it. And so we get to that summer. That's when Shy does Wipeout.
Gotcha. Classic.
Yeah, that does 100,000 in like 4 months.
Wow.
So that's when I'm realizing the seasonality of music.
Right.
Wipeout, a fun summer song.
That's
We're
right.
releasing
That's
it,
right.
and summer, just the whole traction of it and people accepting it. Like I want this song on my playlist was a lot easier.
Dope.
Since it fits seasonally.
Gotcha.
Excuse me. And so but it's still a big financial backing that's coming behind all of these rollouts.
Real.
And so at this point, shout out to my homie Quan. You see memes around that say, I need people that speak my names in rooms that I'm not in.
Come on.
Yo, Quan, I fucking love you because that's
Real.
you to 100%.
That's real.
And so Quan worked with a lot of labels around the Atlanta area, and he's seeing what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't even know if he know like that spark started from that meeting that we had with him.
Wow.
And he started everything with me creating everything. And so he giving me chances to push. He's introducing some of these distribution labels to me.
Gotcha.
Like, hey, this is a guy that you should hire to push some of these other records for your clients. And so that gives me my first break,
Right.
pushing some established artists songs. And so I'm doing that, getting some money from that. Like, these are in a single amount, these are some of the biggest amounts I'm getting.
Gotcha.
Just from single song placements.
Gotcha.
And so pushing them, we did great. We was hitting now, like, I'm just looking, all right, we did 100,000 on Spotify. With these other songs, we doing 100,000 on all platforms.
Gotcha.
100,000 on Spotify, 100,000 on Apple, 100,000 there. They're like everywhere. So I'm like, shit. Like, so now my name getting out there a little bit more.
As a curator.
Yeah, as a
Gotcha.
curator. And so,
And at this time, is it? Do you see the market starting to come in with more curators as you're?
kinda.
Okay.
It's not a lot of us.
Gotcha.
It's not a lot of us.
Gotcha.
If I at least from the people I knew, maybe 5 or 10 other black people.
Okay, gotcha.
Out of 150.
Oh wow, gotcha.
Yeah. And so it's some coming in, but a lot of people is just not going to put up the financial investment to really
even
get it going.
Get it going.
Yeah, the smart guys were like the broke college kids that were DJing or something at college parties and getting people to follow.
Gotcha.
They call it was like more closed communities.
Gotcha.
That they were getting the followers from. But trying to get, if you don't have that closed community, you're just trying to get out there to people. It was expensive.
Gotcha.
But I learned social media marketing in that whole kind of trial by fire. So that's just another feather in my cap. It's another skill set I gained.
Absolutely.
Yep. And so at this point, the distribution thing is coming easy. Email boxes blowing up.
That's right.
Because these people doing reviews on the playlist, and then so the submissions is just coming crazy. And then I'm working things like daily playlists, and you give out free submissions you give out free placements on there.
Gotcha.
And so I'm letting people on free for a week, and then following up like, hey, if you want to continue, it's $30 for the next 30 days.
Smart.
And so, but it's work.
That's 7-day trial.
Yeah, it's for 7-day free trial. But I just don't got you subscribed, so that auto pay ain't coming through. Yeah.
That's right. I just got to take you off of it.
Yeah, so I'm snatching you off. Hey, you want to continue? And so that's work, but it's hustling. Now I'm hustling. I'm back hustling. So I'm sending out 50, 70, 80 emails for guys I'm putting on there free. Like, all right, follow up for the next 30 days.
Gotcha.
Da-da-da. And I never was into like the 15-day placements and all that stuff because it's too much work.
Real.
Now I got to count 15 days and all of that. I'm not doing that.
Right.
And so we working. And at this point, I'm working with KD Shad and Noonk and a couple artists more pushing their stuff. Just really still experiment, but I understand a lot more of what I'm doing now.
Gotcha.
And so have another good year in 2020 financially. Still operating at a loss, but I'm shortening that deficit.
Absolutely.
Yep. And so
why do you let me stop right there. Why do you let me word it right. Why are you not afraid to take so many risks in your own well-being and in yourself?
Honestly, I can't give you a definite answer. I've asked myself that a lot of times.
So you put it all on the table. You like, bro, I don't.
It's literally, I put it all on the table a couple times.
Do you feel like, it's like every play is like, no, it's now or never. Like every play is like, I have
a few of it. And so like, I'll give you this. When I first started here and meeting other different people, and I met after meeting Katie and them and kind of meeting other people, I was kind of getting the same energy as when I was 20 and went to them realtors and they was laughing at me. It was kind of like, this nigga not from here, this nigga. And so a part of it was ego. I'm not gonna lie. It was, all right, niggas don't think I can do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Real.
And I was operating from a different space because I had different streams of income coming in for stuff. Still had my property back home and everything. So, and my brother used to get mad at me. Like, the fuck you spending this money on this shit for? You could have brought another house.
Gotcha.
Like,
go ahead.
But I'm like, this is what I want to do. Like, I couldn't shake the feeling.
Right.
That this is something meant for me. And I never told him the story about dad and buying the speakers and everything.
Gotcha.
Like, I felt like that was a real personal thing.
Gotcha.
But there was a bond between me and my dad. And like I said, when we asked me if my dad was in the music, like, he was big on blues. Like, sometimes I come over and he brought the long speaker wire so he could play the music from upstairs, and he used to run the speaker downstairs. But come in and that blues bass was bumping like throughout the whole house, and I just used to sit up there with him and just listen. And that even further cultivated my kind of ear for music and just understanding. And so at the end of 2020 is when I said, all right, so we got the playlisting. I branded that as marketing. Gotcha. Got the distribution. Everybody says there's no money in distribution. Like, we were doing good. I mean, I had $300,000-$400,000, 100,000 streams in my catalog. Wow. At this point, just from distributing a couple songs. Then I was getting some other clients with me that, all right, I want to distribute with you, and I'll give you 30% of the song. Gotcha. But I want to put it through your network. And so I'm like, all right, we can do it. So, but I still want a fixed marketing fee per month. Gotcha. To push your music. Gotcha. Because I know what I can do utilizing your money in my network. I don't trust that you know how to do promo. Gotcha. So I'm like, you just pay me this low fixed amount, well, kind of low compared to what other people is charging. And so now I'm getting my kind of fixed money. I got 15 clients paying me X amount every month, and I'm getting 30% of their song too on the back end. So now I'm seeing the benefits of residual money. Gotcha. And I still got monthly money coming in that I can count on. Gotcha. And so that's a different stream of income. I got the regular playlist clients, got some of the distribution money coming in. Although for people like that's around me that I'm pushing, and people that I kind of have signed to the distribution company, there's still a lot going out to keep them pushing. Right. And so
and how are they it's just say if it was 15, is it word of mouth that's getting back to you, or you're going out and seeking these artists?
At that point, I don't want to say I was getting known, but it was through some of these platforms and some of these kind of portals where people can submit music. Gotcha. And these message boards, kind of people mentioning my stuff on there. Gotcha. And then on Spotify, I had the email address in the for the playlist description.
Dope. Gotcha. Yep. So it was you had to be in the know.
Yes.
Real.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Real. And so a lot of people reaching out to me through that. A lot of management companies I had some deals pushing whole management companies, and like I said, that's when I learned the music is global, and I'm starting meeting more people in the UK that have labels and so that's kind of how I was pitching some other situations for artists to get signed and stuff over there, because I'm making these new relationships.
Just like we spoke, it's like bro, like once upon a cow, all right, it's more than US.
Yes, it's more than the US. Bro, yes, bro. And what I've seen so many other people, when you was talking about, did I see other curators coming in, and a few other people I knew, that was their cow. The US was their cow. Absolutely. Atlanta was their cow.
Come on, bro. I see it all the time. Bro, you're right. You're right, bro. Yeah. Real. Wow.
And that was a benefit and a kind of a detriment to me, because I got the global money so fast, I never was worried about Atlanta. Wow. And it wasn't until the end of 2020 where I'm like, all right, I got the marketing, I got the distribution. I want to start a management company to more personalize the rollouts and what we're doing marketing wise.
And this is something you saw from the other curators. They had a marketing side.
Yeah, they had the marketing side, but me, and I say this, it's counterintuitive to being a playlist curator, but I saw playlisting as being too cookie cutter. So what I mean is, if I put a J. Cole song and a Lil Baby song on the same playlist, to me it's hard to get the same amount of streams for both of them, because depending on the kind of demographic and the audience of the playlist, some of them might like trap music more, some of them might like more conscious music more. But as a playlister, you're just trying to get people to follow you and listen to the playlist. You can't really focus on core demographics. You just need the follower numbers to come in, because that's how you're getting paid. That's how you get paid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the reach of your audience.
Gotcha.
And then another thing, artists, don't worry about so much followers as active listeners on playlists.
Integrity.
People, these curators blow smoke up your ass. I got 1 million followers, bro. You got 5,000 people that's listening.
That actually listen.
Yeah, and that's that. And so, what I'm seeing is
right. So you say you needed to develop a management company with this.
Yeah, and so like with playlisting, so even if I put the Lil Baby and the J. Cole song on the same playlist, let's say for a month they both get 5,000 streams. If the audience is more trap oriented, out of that 5,000 streams, Lil Baby might, from people listening to that song on the playlist, that might give him 2,000 more followers out of them 5,000 people that listen to his song.
Gotcha.
The J. Cole might have got 50 followers because it's a more trap oriented audience that's following that playlist.
Gotcha.
So my goal was to put people's music more in a space of where their core demographic was.
Gotcha.
And so like a lot of artists, you'll get 100,000 streams on playlists, but your Instagram ain't went up nothing. That's because your song isn't being put in a place where people that can become long-term fans of you are listening. They might just be riding in their car listening to the playlist, and your song come on and they just listening to it.
Gotcha.
But it's not the type of music that they really, really, really like.
I see.
Like it's type of music that they'll listen to and like. That's two totally different things.
Gotcha.
They might like it, but like doesn't create the long term fan.
Absolutely.
It got to really resonate, and they gotta be able to relate to it.
Gotcha.
Like relatability nowadays on social media is the most important thing.
That's a fact.
You see Desi Banks and Drewski and all of them, they doing great because they make relatable content.
Absolutely.
When Drewski made the whole thing with the long white t-shirts and wearing their book bags backward, like everybody remembered that it was relatable.
That's right.
And so that's the same thing with artists making content. People got to relate to it.
Real.
Like with the bars and then like people can relate to having family members and everything going through that. That's why I think that's fantastic content.
Real. M37, what does that come into play?
M37, when I said I was young and had the 13 playlists,
right.
Those playlists was under an umbrella company that was called Motivated Inc. Gotcha. So Motivated has always just been like my personal tagline.
Real.
So like I'm motivated as hell. I'm this. So the M is for motivated.
Right.
And 37 is my father's football numbers.
Come on, man. Come on. I love it. I always wanted to ask you. I never knew where that came from.
Yeah.
Wow, I love it. I love it.
So it was my way to keep him like apart, because he the one that believed in me first as far as the music stuff, and it's just motivated. It's just I've always just gone at it 100%, and so starting that, I wanted to create more custom rollouts for artists. So you're this type of artist, you make this type of music. What demographic is more likely to listen to that music and want to become a long-term fan? Let's do what we can do to get in front of that audience and capture that audience. And so that I wanted to have more personalized rollouts.
So are you actually currently, how many artists are you taking on right now under your management? Or is it some? I know how it goes.
Yeah.
Under the umbrella.
Officially is one. Under the umbrella is a couple.
Gotcha.
But I'm at the point, just like I said with playlisting, I'm extremely picky. Like it's not about the money anymore.
Absolutely. Come on, bro.
And that was a good thing, and I understand it. But I understand when people want to step back, and it's more about the mindset of the artist and other things. Because what ended up happening with playlisting, you just keep throwing anything on there, people gonna stop listening. Wow. Because the quality isn't being maintained. Like people are listening to the playlist for the established artists, and you're trying to trick them and put in these little curveballs for artists that they don't know. But if you just taking the $50 and not listening to the artist, and they get up there with some trash, like you gonna listen, you gonna lose listeners,
credibility.
Yes,
credibility in that actual platform.
Yep.
Wow.
And so,
for the artists watching right now, what is M37 management? What are some of the things you're looking for in an artist? What must he or she possess?
More than anything, I will always say the correct mindset. And I understand how artists get misled these days. There's so many people scamming and other stuff. And then I think there were so many artists with that lottery ticket mentality that rap just became a vehicle for them to make money. Wow. And they felt like making a song was me putting my lottery ticket in for this song to just go viral and me make $3 million.
Wow.
And it became less about the quality of music other than me just making my attempt at being a star.
Real, at great music. My attempt at making great music.
Yes.
Wow.
And I think just so many artists just think that, okay, I just need to make music and people are going to love it. And as soon as I put it out, 1,000 people are going to gravitate to it and it's just going to go viral. And it's like literally like winning the lottery ticket.
Wow.
Like less than 1% of people is that going to happen to. And it's just I think artists develop a bad habit at that mentality, at just making music and putting it out.
Wow.
This is my slogan or my phrase now. So I don't want to work with an artist unless so this is what I say. If I jumped into a car and that car didn't have any bolts in the tire, and so the tires were on the car but there's no bolts, and if I started to drive off, you would look at me like I was crazy.
Right.
Because the car isn't gonna go anywhere. Right? You know the tire's gonna fall off, car ain't gonna go far.
Right.
When artists put out a song and don't want to market it, I look at you like you just as crazy.
Wow.
Because the song ain't gonna go nowhere.
I often say this about artists. They do the work, they get the song done, and present it to the same 1,000 followers.
Yes.
They've done for the last 5 years.
Yes.
And that's it.
And that's another thing. If an artist can't understand fuck your followers, then I can't work with you because you're too imprisoned to the people that follow you, that don't support you, that if they supported you, you would be where you wanted to go. They are your friends, your family, and people that like you. That does not mean they have to like your music. Having that expectation of them isn't even really understandable. Like if I come out, if I open a car wash, a lot of people don't get their car washed every week. It's just not their natural inclination. Like they
maybe once a month.
Yeah,
maybe
they don't care enough about.
Real.
Just because I have a car wash that's open doesn't mean that they should all of a sudden change their pattern or behavior and come get their car washed with me. So when you start doing music and put it out, that doesn't mean that they're entitled or they have to, or they're under this contract to go and listen to your music. That might not be what they like. They don't have to like it just because you did it.
Know you personally.
Yeah, because they know you personally. It just there's no correlation there.
That's entitlement at its finest.
That's entitlement at its finest. And artists just don't understand that their music is another product that needs to be marketed to a fan base that wants that product.
Wow.
Like,
and it's bigger than Atlanta. It's bigger than the west side.
Than
bigger
Atlanta.
than the south side.
Yes.
Bigger than the east side.
Yes. Much bigger. Like if back in Philly, water ice is a thing. Like everybody love water ice. But if water ice tastes good, but if I take water ice and trying to sell it in Minnesota where it's cold all the time, it's not gonna sell like that.
Bro.
Like you have to put your product in a place where people that like that type of product can consume it.
Wow.
And a lot of artists don't want to put emphasis or effort into the dry marketing runs to even understand where the people are that might like it.
Gotcha. I know what that comes from. It comes from, I'm from Atlanta.
Yep.
This is who should like it.
Yes.
And not,
That's
it's like, you know, it's like J. Cole is like, no, I'm J. Cole. I'm from North Carolina. New York loved it.
New
You know
York
what I'm saying?
loved it.
But
Yes.
it's the market. It's just the who gravitates towards
toward it.
Bro, the baby came out. Atlanta loved it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
bro, it's all about knowing where your market is,
Yes.
bro. That's just real.
Yes, and
that's real.
The I call them dry marketing runs because you're just trying to you're putting a feeler out there, seeing who might like it,
Gotcha.
who might not like it. But there's a process to that. You're hitting a handful of areas that every dry marketing run. All right, one of those 5 cities that we tried like it more than the other 4.
Gotcha.
All right, let's do 4 of those, and each city that liked it the most. Now we'll do another run with just those 5 cities.
Gotcha.
Then that's how you start to whittle it down to who might be a potential fan base. But that whole process, nobody really wants to put in. It's rare that artists that want to put in that effort.
Real.
Yeah.
What currently drives you? You know, like in 2024, what's keeping you driven?
Freedom. I've loved my whole journey, but I want a different journey for my son.
Real.
I've made a great living for myself, working for other people.
Real.
But at this point in the game, and like I've talked about, my grandfather and everything. What the one thing that my people before me and my family haven't been able to do is establish something that the generations after us could kind of come into and run.
Real.
That's where I'm at now. I want to start that seed that three generations after me, we're still operating in the space that was created.
Real. Respect. Respect.
So that amount of freedom and just almost like it's like Carlito said in Carlito's way, like you kind of run out of steam at some point, and I'm nowhere near out of steam.
Real, bro.
I'm nowhere near out of steam, man.
What has fatherhood taught you about life, about this grind?
He's one of the only people who opinions I care about.
Real.
My father was he didn't care what anybody thought about him. Like my dad would go outside dressed crazily. He don't give a shit. Like,
gotcha.
I've carried that on to a little bit. But I care about how my son looks at me. I care about what influences him.
Right.
I care about how he thinks of himself.
Real.
And my father raised us to be extremely high confidence in the individuals.
That's right.
That's one trait you'll find throughout me, my brother, and my sister.
Real.
You really can't tell us a lot about ourselves. It's taught me patience.
Gotcha. Come on.
And just a bit more of human behavior. Like people pick up so much, children pick up so much.
That's right.
And people in general pick up so much. And so when you're thinking about having a product or having something, just understand that repetitive people seeing your product or something multiple times can have a pronounced effect,
bro. It can
on them. And so one thing I've just my own kind of marketing, the way I digest marketing. Me and you growing up, we saw a lot of Grey Poupon commercials with Charles Barkley.
Bro.
Now, when's the last time you seen?
It's embedded in our memory.
It's embedded in our memory and in our culture. They don't even have to run commercials anymore. Grey Poupon they make over $200 million a year in sales, and they only market it to one generation.
That is crazy.
They market it to our parents and us as kids.
Baby boomers.
And us as kids. And now, through us buying the product, we've passed it on to our kids. Wow. And they had to spend like money for 10 year period.
Though. That's how
And they got so ingrained that now they can just sit back and collect checks for the past 30 years.
Wow.
When I think about certain things like that, I'm like, they had it all planned out.
Marketing.
Yes, that's marketing and branding.
You're right. It's a difference between marketing. Branding is the ultimate goal.
Yes.
Branding.
Yep.
Wow.
They've created the brand and the prestige around their brand, and there's no looking back once that's established.
Wow.
And just something as little as a little thing of mustard. That I mean, we talked about the profit margin on like cell phone stuff. I mean, what's the profit margin on a little
You said nines.
I mean, and it's crazy, but that is the goal with a product or any brand, to have it be synonymous with excellence,
Right.
with great taste,
Right.
with when you buy this, you're going to be pleased by it, and it's something that you always want to have in your household.
Wow.
And that's the ultimate goal. And so,
Do you think if artists understood marketing, they will be a lot further than where they are?
they definitely would be. But shout out to one of my homies, Mujab Shakur. He's the brother of a former NBA player, and now they've pivoted, and now they're in the pure fuel. It's a
Gotcha.
sports drink that they started in Philadelphia.
Gotcha.
But I did some business with him earlier on in life, and I was asking him, I'm like, bro, like, do people not see this opportunity that we got going on? And he said they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to, because if they saw it, number one, the opportunity wouldn't be here for us, and number two, let them master what they master. Like, artists are supposed to create, and it's only in this space, in today's space of creating music being so accessible and being so easy, that you have this many people creating.
Gotcha.
But in the past, all artists focused on was creating. The Temptations didn't have to worry about marketing.
Real.
Barry Gordy took care of that.
Absolutely.
All of those Motown acts, they didn't have to worry about that. Michael Jackson didn't worry about marketing. Quincy Jones and the whole team around him was thinking about that. So I think it's unfair to say that today's artists need to understand it, but you just have this oversaturation of artists in the marketplace that don't have a team or don't want a team.
Gotcha.
And try to do everything on their own. So if you want to do everything on your own, now you have to understand marketing, because it's a part of it that every other artist had somebody that understood.
Gotcha.
And you're trying to bypass that step and get the same results without the same thought process.
How do you feel about the internet? Has it helped or hindered, or it's the perfect marriage in music entertainment?
I think it's helped as far as the exposure.
Gotcha.
Like I said, now everything is so worldwide. I was talking to a homie of mine the other day, like, hey, throw them ads overseas, and understand the time difference. When it's their time to go to sleep, pause those ads.
Gotcha.
Save on some of that money.
Save 20% a day, right?
Yeah, that helps.
Real, that's right.
But the whole internet just made everything global.
Gotcha.
Technology has made the creation of music so easy now, but with having a mass amount of creators, you need a mass amount of areas to kind of digest music.
Gotcha.
And I think the internet provides that, but not enough artists utilize it. Like, I mean, we scroll Instagram every day and see established ads like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Doritos, and everybody with ads on Instagram, but you don't think your product needs an ad? Like Pepsi, that everybody knows, I spend $50,000 shooting a commercial for the Super Bowl, then spend $3 million getting it aired on the Super Bowl. Y'all have spent $2,000 on a music video and spend $200 promoting it. It just doesn't make sense. They're already known and willing to make the investment, make a bigger investment than what they paid to shoot the video to get it aired, to promote it, and they're already a household name.
Wow.
So how don't you feel that you, somebody that nobody knows, really don't have to do the same thing? And it's what you said earlier, they're trapped by their amount of followers. They like, oh man, I got 50,000 followers already. I don't need to do that. But that's 50,000 people. If it's real, 50,000. But that, even if it is real, that's 50,000 people that already aren't supporting you in the manner that you would like. So why not try something to reach out to new people?
Scale.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's 100% scale.
Real.
It's scale.
Let me ask you this: which means more to you, time or money?
Oh, time.
Real.
Time. Oh, absolutely. I made a switch about 6 months ago. 20 2022, 2023 was hard. 2021, I'll catch up to that question, but picking up where we left off before, started M37, got more involved with artists. That's when we were going out of town shooting videos.
Gotcha.
And all of that.
That's right.
So just a quick
this
story.
This is around the time we met.
Yes, we met.
That's
yes.
absolutely right.
And so 2021, go to Miami, shoot a great video. Amazing video. Come back. And I'm really I'm really in go mode. Like, all right, I love this. I like this management, this part of it. I come back on the flight coming home. I get an email from Spotify. Your playlists have been disabled because you violated one of the clauses of your user agreement.
Gotcha.
So somebody reported to Spotify that I was taking money for placements.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like, I feel like the feds ran down on me.
Wow.
Like, because it's just like the same, like, the government doesn't care that you sell weed to somebody. They care that they don't get the $20 for the weed. Yeah.
Bro, absolutely.
So Spotify didn't care that I was putting people on the playlist. They cared that they didn't make any money from it. So if I got all these clients and clientele for the shit, and I'm in year 2 or 3 at that point, I made well over $100,000 playlisting. They didn't get any of that. They got my $10 a month for subscribing. So I get it. I understand. Like, they trying to kick me off their block. And so this is around the same time you saw after that Spotify create the what do they call it? The thing where you pitch them to get on their playlist.
I'm not too savvy with.
It's a service where you can pitch their song. You can pitch your song to them while you're distributing it and uploading it. But in return, if you land a placement, they take some of your money per stream.
So the song, if the song is good enough, they'll put it on the playlist themselves.
They'll put it on a Spotify. Wow. So you got playlists on Spotify, then you got Spotify playlists.
Gotcha.
So my playlist was a playlist on Spotify. You got a lot of third-party curators that do that. But then you got the Spotify curated playlist.
Gotcha. Right.
Yeah. And so they got hundreds of thousands and millions of followers on there. And so they'll definitely, shout out to Germo G, just got added to a reggaeton playlist on Spotify.
Okay.
And so they'll do that, but they want some of your streaming royalty that you get from streams on that playlist.
As they should.
Yeah. It's a good 50-50. It's a good quid pro quo. It gets you a lot of exposure. But they put you on there for a little bit, then take you off.
Okay.
But shoot, I mean, if you gain 50,000 streams on there, and 50% of those people check out the rest of your catalog or come on to follow you,
it's a win-win.
Definitely a win-win. And so Spotify's goal at this point is to kick as many of these third-party curators off,
so they become the one and only.
So it's monopoly.
Absolutely.
It's monopoly now. So while they started...
We allowed y'all to do this for so long.
Yes.
Now we're getting hip to what's going on.
What's going on.
We're going to run the block as we should have a long time.
And like I said, I came into this late. I feel like I was making good money, but like, shout out to my homie Cody.
Who was doing this
he was
2015, 16
I'm sure he was making $250,000 a year.
Wow.
Curating. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And it probably was 1,000 Codys out there that was making that money. And so Spotify, like, y'all getting fat while we starve.
Gotcha.
Because they getting heat from the record labels and the artists saying that they ain't getting paid enough for the streams.
Makes sense.
But Spotify got to pay for all of this data and storing all of this data of all these songs. And so now that's the second part of their war that's going on.
Gotcha.
And so a platform that started off to keep, like I said, to keep the playing field between independent artists and established artists, kind of keep a fair playing field.
Right.
Now they're in a position where they got to kick some of the independents off. And it started as a war against curators.
Wow.
And I get it. But it was heartbreaking for me because now you shut down the Carter.
Absolutely. That's real.
My Carter.
That's real though.
And so
that's real.
Luckily, I made a smart decision early in the game.
Gotcha.
And I didn't put all my playlists on one account.
Okay.
So I had it set up between 4 different accounts.
You saying the Audio Max? You said
No,
like that,
between
or?
4 Spotify accounts.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
So
gotcha.
I had different accounts.
I see.
So
Gotcha.
when they shut those down, that shut down like 2 or 3 playlists I had on that one account.
Okay.
But that was the first account I started. So that was my more established playlist.
Gotcha.
So that hurt. It knocked me down. And then I was at a time like we had just been one of his video shoot and everything. I'm like, all right, I'm probably gonna recoup that money this week from placements.
Right.
And now I get this letter. I'm like, damn. And so, at that point, the block was hot.
Absolutely.
And so now I got to change everything. It's like when I get emails from people, I can't directly say, all right, it's $50 for this, it's $30 for this.
Gotcha.
Like, all right, I'll give you a trial period, but $50 donation for promotion expenses.
I got you.
Would be along with that. Something.
Right.
I'm changing up the word. And I'm learning as I'm going.
Right.
And so I got caught slipping on another one. Like I swear they be sending people out to email you like, hey bro, I'll give you $300 for this. I'm like, sure.
Gotcha.
And
right.
A month later, oh, you violated terms. So what they started doing is, and I guess they got sued for like disabling people's accounts.
Oh, wow.
Because like my first account was disabled. I can't even log back into it.
Wow.
But they kept my playlist up. So they disabled my access, but since they knew people was listening to it, they kept it up.
Wow.
So it's still up there to this day. And so what they did with my other ones when they caught me is they made them private, so only I can listen to them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they were smartening up. But so at that point, I was forced to pivot. And so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna lean into this management thing a bit more. And so that's when late 2021, we was kind of hitting the road more, Savannah, Jacksonville, Orlando, kind of doing different shows. And then that's when I pivoted to more to the content creation events. So we were doing the spotlight events. So down at the Goat Farm, I leased a studio space.
Gotcha.
And I would get an allotment of hours every month. And so we were throwing weekly events there for artists to get photos and everything. We're doing some interviews just to help their branding, help their imaging and exposure as well. So I met a lot of great artists and great people through there. Had a lot of people through there. Met my main cameraman now, Snook. Shout out to Snook. And that was good. But that's when I started seeing how artists really didn't care a lot about imaging and branding. And artists weren't that serious.
Bro.
Because I wasn't charging a whole lot for them to come. Like I looked at it more as another way to kind of build the brand. This is when I had to make that pivot. That's when I realized how I could have done a better job the 2 years prior of caring about Atlanta.
Gotcha.
Because now Spotify shut off some of my global reach.
I see.
And so now I needed to depend on more local stuff, and I hadn't been cultivating that the last 2 years.
Gotcha.
And so I was like, damn, it's kind of starting over at some point. And so that hurt, but it was a pivot for me, and I was providing more for the artists that was around me.
Gotcha.
And so that was good. And then we're in the 2022 now. And from a management side, every year I add something different.
Right.
So 2021 was kind of core management. 2022 was the content creation.
Gotcha.
Well, 2021 content creation events. 2022, that's when we started live events.
Absolutely.
And so
is this the playlist party or?
No.
This is when you This is when you're going from different venues.
Yeah, the showcases.
Which is going crazy.
Yes. And so that came off the back of I'm getting artists booked at different places in the city. And like I said, I'm green in Atlanta. I don't know a lot of promoters, don't know a lot of people. And so I'm trusting people. Everybody say, oh yeah, your artists want to perform, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, get there. My artist ain't performing until 3 a.m. And there's 17 people left in the crowd. And dealing with this a couple times, I'm like, all right, man. All right, there's another thing I got to do myself. And so I just, the promoters in Atlanta soured my taste so much. I'm like, all right, we can do this on our own.
Gotcha.
This is fine. And so kind of starting from the bottom again now. All right, where's the need? How do I find artists that want to perform but kind of mostly get these really bad chances at performing.
Real.
And so developed relationships with like Ant at Skybox and some of these other venues that we use. Shout out to Ant. And this is a network we should be using. We should be dealing with other black owners. We should be dealing with other black entrepreneurs. And so started that. Fall of that year, I saw this venue that we had used for a concert over there on the west side, the We Entertainment Complex. We did a little concert there, but they had an outdoor area as well.
Gotcha.
And so I'm like, connected with this DJ from San Antonio. He came out, DJ. Shout out to Jefe.
Gotcha.
And did that event. Few artists came out and had a really good show. Had a good turnout. Shout out to Bombay Vodka. That was the first time they sponsored one of my events. Another black entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
And then we did a showcase by a black-owned company, my company, with a black-owned sponsor at a black-owned venue.
Real.
And I thought that was all that.
That's dope.
I thought that was all that. Then around this time is when we started the Valuable Information Show.
Absolutely.
Over at Holly Unique Radio. Another black entrepreneur. Shout out to Black.
Come on.
Shout out to people at Playhouse Studios. That was a dope experience over there. So now I'm kind of building my local fan base. I'm touching more artists locally, meeting all these people, interviewing them on the show. And because I wanted to build that web, so I'm like, all right, I can't start these shows not having a base of artists that I know.
Gotcha.
So doing the interviews are going to bring the artists to me.
Absolutely.
And then now I can funnel them into the shows.
Absolutely.
So you always got to create that bait, that bait for them. No matter what your product is, you got to give them that bait.
I'm gonna say it on camera. Valuable information has to continue.
It has to.
Come on, bro.
Right.
Come on, bro.
You're right.
Come on, bro.
Get part of this CEO Khacki podcast network.
Come on, let's get it, bro. Let's get it, bro. Let's get it.
Definitely coming back.
Definitely, bro.
And so at the fall of that year, I had this idea and I just went for it after the success of the concert. I saw the outdoor space, and then they had the indoor space with the stage where we threw the concert. Then they had another indoor room that had a stage.
Gotcha.
And so I'm like, damn, it's 3 different stages. So if I put a stage on this outside, I'm like, all right, I want to throw a music festival.
Real.
Yeah. The most money I spent at one time doing this in the music space cost me about almost $8,000 to put together. Shout out to my homie Yaquan. He partnered with me on it, threw in some money. But brought a stage outside. My homie DJ Streets making. He came out and DJ'd. Had a great event.
Real.
Great event. Loved it. Had a decent turnout. I wanted more.
Gotcha.
But everybody that was there said they had.
It's real, bro. That's right.
Said they had a great time.
You throw amazing events, bro.
Thank you. And it's all around giving artists a good platform to perform. I'm not gonna make you wait till 2, 3 a.m.
Absolutely, bro.
You bringing people out to see you. I want people to see you. We're gonna do it at a good time.
Bro.
And it can be tough to bring people out to see artists that they don't know.
Real.
But I try to. I was fine spending $8,000 without making $8,000 back. And number one, I knew it was the first event. Number one, and just from a business standpoint, it's tough if people don't know your brand to expect a huge turnout.
That's right.
And I think too many people set themselves up for disappointment by doing it. Don't mean you don't put all your effort into it, but just be realistic about what you're doing. And if all you got is $8,000, don't spend. I wouldn't recommend spending $8,000.
Let's move into the playlist party as well.
Yep. So this is 2022. So I'm experimenting with different type of events.
Gotcha.
And so at this point, brought Nicole onto the team. Shout out to Nicole Sabrina. Been a wonderful help throughout the years. Helping me with PR, different stuff. So I actually interviewed with her on Valuable Information. Peter Parker, who owns Fusion Radio over there off Jonesboro.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Wonderful, beautiful facility.
Absolutely
over
beautiful.
there. He contacts her after seeing her Valuable Information interview, invites her over, see the facility. I'm like, hey man, that's when I was still every year I'm up in the air about whether I'm gonna do brunch for bosses.
Gotcha.
And so I seen the facility. I'm like, all right, I got to do it. I got to do it. And so we do that.
Amazing turnout.
And yeah, great turnout. And this is actually 2023. And so after that, I love the venue so much. Like I want to do a different event here,
right.
But I didn't know what to do. So I'm like, all right, let's do a playlist party.
Right.
But have the artists perform like as a part of like the playlist. Like
gotcha.
They're already on the playlist.
Right.
And just have them perform and kind of the same premise of a showcase, but in a different format where it's live and just not played.
Real.
And so that event was great. Like I said, the venue was perfect for it. And I kind of stashed the idea, and like I said, Quan always mentioning my name in rooms. And I had dealt with some of the other business partners we're working with, like DJ Omeezy,
gotcha.
Managed by my homie Mike Daniels.
Shout out to Omeezy.
Shout out to Omeezy. Shout out to Mike. We worked on stuff before, and so he brought myself and Quan in. Said, hey, we actually had a different situation that we were going to do the market
gotcha.
for Omeezy
Gotcha.
with a different group that they didn't got signed, and they out of here now.
Sure.
And so we're like, hey, we want to throw an event. I'm like, hey man, like I've been throwing these playlist parties. Let's work on that subject. They was all with it, throwing an event, and then now we're building DJ Omeezy's playlist.
Come on.
So the Heard a Song Today playlist, make sure y'all go follow it. And being able to have his ear curate a lot of these playlists, and then we put the marketing behind it, just really made a lot of sense.
Dope.
And so
or how can artists get on these playlists? Is it hand selected or it's
hand selected? So we got to get back to the weekly music reviews. We were doing music reviews.
Gotcha.
Omeezy's so busy these days; it's hard to get him. But you can DM him. He has links in his bio where you can submit the songs.
Real.
You can send it to me or Yaquan as well. But I already had an established relationship with Ember, and Omeezy does as well.
Gotcha.
And so we thought it would be a dope spot to kind of start it at. And 4 events in,
come on, bro.
and it's been wonderful.
How's the reception? How do you see this, like doing this new set? Because you're always pivoting.
Yeah.
How is this?
The reception's been beautiful. So what we've kind of introduced is a curated musical experience that's kind of like an in-club concert.
Gotcha.
And so we've had different themes. So the first one, it was more trap. We had AMG Twins,
Gotcha.
Sticky Low, bunch of other kind of buzzing established artists. And so we're mixing established artists with some independent artists.
Real.
It's only a handful of artists that's going to perform.
Gotcha.
It's not one of these 20 performer showcases
Absolutely.
and
6
stuff
hour.
like that. Yeah. We're not
real.
doing that. People coming out, they're having a good time.
That's dope.
And like I said, it's kind of like an in-club concert where people performing. It's a little stage area, but you can perform from your section as well.
Gotcha.
And it's and Omeezy is curating the other music he's playing around the music of the performers.
Gotcha.
And so it all fits the same theme. Everybody's a vibe the whole night.
That's
People
dope.
turn up. The second event was an R&B event. We had Lyrica Anderson, Torica, T-Royal, Nick Lavelle.
That's right.
It was a phenomenal night, man. And shout out to Nayek for sponsoring that one. We've been lucky enough to have a corporate sponsor for every single event that we've done. We're talking to a couple more corporate sponsors for this upcoming one in July. It's going to be a really big event. And it's something new. And credit to Omeezy. Not a lot of artists have been broken in Atlanta the last year and a half, and a lot has been made of it. A lot of people complain about it.
Gotcha.
But Omeezy didn't want to complain. He wanted to create something to contribute to some of these artists breaking.
Like
instead of just complaining about it, let's do something about it.
Absolutely.
Like what can we do to get these artists a good platform? And there's not a lot of places left in Atlanta where independent artists can come out and perform in front of a couple hundred people.
That's real.
And then have other people. I mean, we've had Ray Daniels, we had Willie Joe from Generation Now pop out. We had a few industry people pop out, and that's the ambience we're trying to create. Like a must come to event for industry professionals to come through. We have a section that they always have to sit at, and just create kind of a go-to for industry night, but you're going to see some good performances as well.
When is the next performance?
It will be July 29th.
So we have perfect timing, July 29th. So we definitely will be out by then for sure.
Yeah, we're going to make some announcements hopefully in the next week or so, but definitely look out for that at Ember Lounge, July 29th, Monday, July 29th.
What's next for you?
The next thing is Motivated Media. So that's the logo. That's the Motivated Media is going to be the tree, and there's going to be a few different branches. The Valuable Information Show is one of those branches. And my biggest branch right now that's holding up this tree is an idea I had 2 years ago that has spawned into the Court magazine.
Yes,
and
bro.
It's been a tremendous experience. It's brought me back to a spot where I'm a product of a global market.
Real.
And so managing artists and pitching artists for blog placements or journalistic publications, I got really tired of black artists and urban artists being kind of shown in the urban light, having quick reviews written about them. And the fact that there are urban artists and independent artists is like a double X against them of getting a quality write-up and review and being shown in a professional light. I look at independent artists as the next stars of tomorrow.
Exactly.
So why aren't they being treated like that?
Now.
And in the NFL draft, did any of them get treated like second-class citizens? Last night, they got the red carpet rolled out for them. They get sponsors that dress them. And because they're the next superstars. Not all of them are going to become superstars. Some of them going to flake out. And some of them not going to make their team. But they all get the same upper class treatment. And independent artists should be no different. It's not just because you haven't heard. I haven't heard of a lot of them people that got drafted. But just because you haven't heard of them doesn't mean they should be treated in a lower class way. And so I wanted to create a platform. I didn't know what it was when I had the idea that really cast a really good, positive, and professional light on black creatives. And we're beyond just rappers and singers and musicians. Like creators create in different ways. You're a creator. A lot of these other platform owners and kind of think tanks are creators. And so from authors to anything else that's creating, putting stuff out there, I want to know your story. And I want to know it and broadcast it in a great light. And so I had a good opportunity to work with some people that from the UK, like I said, that I met years ago on a global scale that were working with some magazine companies over there, pitched them my idea. And they said, okay, let's build this infrastructure. And in the past year and a half, I've just kind of completely taken it over. And I got a couple people that's working with me, keeping it moving. But we've been able to do some really good numbers, engagement and reach-wise. In the last year, we want our 2-year anniversary. Anniversary is coming up. But this will be kind of our first year active. Our first year was just kind of building everything and filling everything out. And so I think my first post went out like last June.
Gotcha.
And so we're coming up on a year mark, and it's really been tremendous.
For sure.
And now I'm back at that point where I was with playlisting, where I'm waking up to all these emails and requests and all these PR companies reaching out to me from other different places. So the fact that I didn't have to advertise and reach out for people to, hey, come do this, come that. The fact that now people are reaching out to me, it really has
hard work is,
it had the desired effect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so that's going to be another branch of the tree. I got one other idea as far as the media that I want to present and bring to life. But like I said, I made that kind of mistake in the beginning of starting distribution too early. I'm fine with the patience and waiting for this cup to fill up before I can move on. And
Absolutely.
so the magazine now is going to be that branch that kind of feeds everything else. So I'm gonna bear fruit from that first. We're already bearing some fruit, but that's really where I'm gonna make some good headway in, and getting that running to the level that I want I'm gonna focus on that before kind of pivoting and doing something else.
Real.
But the pivot is gonna come. It's gonna come. But I just see how everything is so content and visual driven these days that it just makes sense
to stay ahead and
to stay ahead of the curve. And because even in management, I saw early on either I was going to be the manager that's helping artists pay for all of these platforms, or I can build the platforms that these artists pay for me on, and I can feature my artists on. So I saw that early in the game, and I was like, all right, let me just do this a little differently. And as a manager to all any other managers out there, you have to kind of cast your own shadow.
Wow.
Because unfortunately, loyalty isn't always a thing in this game.
Wow.
And you can help an artist get to a certain level and they want to make a different decision, and what are you left with?
Wow.
So I think kind of creating something of your own, because it's going to take money. Nowadays, managers are just as much a label as anything, because they helping the artist pay for stuff and the other stuff. And that's not what managers are supposed to do.
That's a fact.
And the secret of everything these days is most of these artists don't need management, they need marketing. And so the traditional artist-manager relationship is, okay, you're buzzing, you can get booked for X amount, and I get a percentage of X amount. But now managers are having to build artists up to get to that point. And that build-up point is marketing.
Wow.
That's not management. You might be giving them some advice and steering them a certain way, but they're not getting booked, so you're not getting any percentage. So managers really need to learn a lot about marketing these days to get their artists to the point that they are getting booked, and that traditional artist-manager relationship can begin.
Real.
Yeah.
Bro, let me ask you this, man. When it's all said and done, what is your legacy?
He was motivated. He didn't quit. He made an impact, and he really cared about providing excellent service.
Respect.
That's been the thing that's kept me in business so long. I got people that's been playlisting with me since 2019 that still hit me up about stuff. And it's because they're not just a number. They're just not somebody that's sending money to me. I ask them what's going on. I give them critique on the music that they send me. It's more about building these artists up than just using them as just a number or money. Yeah, and it's too much of that goes on, but too much of our culture has just been monetized. Like, it's just people only look at it as for how much money I can make. People want to rap just because they can make money. People want to open studios just so they can make money. People want to engineer just so they can make money. And I tell artists all the time, if you in a session with an engineer and he don't come back one time, like, hey, you need to do that takeover, run as far away from him as you can, because he don't care. He just care that he getting $20 for that hour, and he just gonna sit there no matter what you do.
Wow.
And that's not the environment you need to be in, where somebody isn't pushing you to be better, to do better.
Wow.
And to kind of create that perfection. And so many artists get used to that they're above reproach.
Real.
At a certain point, because like, ain't nobody else told me that I was doing this wrong, so who are you to tell me that I'm doing something wrong?
Press that space button and shut up.
No, them other people didn't care about what you were doing.
You know what the problem is? They were never engineers.
Facts.
They were never engineers.
Yes.
That's the problem. Jase, it's been a pleasure, my brother.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, bro. You have so many gems to give this, and this ain't the first time, bro. You got to keep coming back and exploring this, bro, because your position on the game is different, and that outlet and that voice, these artists have to hear it, have to see it, have to understand it from your lens. It's important, even on your journey, and you're just beginning.
Yeah.
You know, this journey is long.
Yeah.
But you just beginning.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, like, so yeah, bro, just to hear your input, and I'm looking in the camera, this is a man who's not afraid to put his money up. If he believes in you, he believes in you. Yeah. And this man is wholeheartedly here for hip hop, for music, for the culture. It's not a money grab. And it shows through his works. But man, brother, man, I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too. I got to give you your flowers too, man.
Respect.
I appreciate everything, and I see the pivot that you made. And I tell people all the time, don't be afraid of it.
Come on.
Embrace it, moving on from something else doesn't mean that you failed.
Real.
It means that you're taking your experience somewhere else.
Real, bro.
And so many people from an ego standpoint, like they be scared, oh, that nigga quit, he ain't doing that anymore, he's trying to do something else. But it's a part of the process, it's a part of the journey.
All, bro, it's and you know as well as I know, it's all part of the plan.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like real.
And the thing is, a lot of artists think that this is a linear path, that all right, I'm gonna do this, do that, and then this is gonna happen. And that's not how it works. Like your path, like you don't even see where your sidewalk is gonna go. So the path is the path. Just because you had to make a left don't mean that you're still not on the same path.
Real, bro.
That's just, once you can understand that, you can take these losses and everything else more in stride, because it's gonna happen, and it might lead you to a place that's more beneficial to you.
But you never know unless you pivot, unless you keep going.
And another thing I always say to close out, like naturally in a human's motion, if there was a big puddle in front of me and I'm walking up and I stop at this puddle, I'm not just gonna, from a cold stop, try to jump over this puddle. Most of the time you're gonna take a couple steps back and then make a big jump forward.
Integrity.
And that's life. Like in life, sometimes you got to take a couple steps back.
I love
to
that
make
analogy.
that big leap forward.
I absolutely love that analogy.
Wow. And that's just how it is.
Respect, bro. I'm gonna carry that one with me. That was out of all these bars you hit with that one. That was dope. That was dope, bro. I appreciate you, brother. First of many. Let's get to it. Jase, follow everything this man has done, everything this man is doing, about to do. Jase, as tradition on the Integrity Response, if you can reach to that bowl, grab one fortune cookie, and just like that, if you can read it to your supporters, and just like that, we out of here.
Wow. Choose your own path.
I quit. All right, that's the last episode. It's real, bro.
Yes,
real.
Yes.
Choose your own path.
Choose your own path.
Wow.
Can't make it up, man.
You spoke about pivoting this entire interview.
Yes. And then that's what it is. Sometimes when that crossroads come, you have to choose. Sometimes that might be the hard choice, but sometimes you got to choose it. You got to choose it. And no matter what people are going to think, no matter what you're going to hear, no matter you think, oh man, I'm throwing away all this stuff. No, you've learned so much that's just going to help you in the next path that you choose.
Wow. Respect, brother.
Yes, sir.
2024, M37. Jase, everything he's doing, follow this man's journey. Everything will be below in the description. Click more. You'll see everything there. 2024, the Integrity Response. Signing off. Salute, brother.
All right.